the screen just flipped. So I have no idea what you guys are going to see. I asked if they wanted me to be on camera and they said no. And I had it perfectly where the camera wasn't dipping in and out. So if it starts to irritate you, it's because it's trying to find it's like basically what happens is when I use this format with YouTube, it kind of like hijacks my phone so that we can stream together, but it's really through their camera and their storage. So the reason why I'm doing this is because first of all, welcome you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And welcome to the new people. My name is Tallulah Wren. I am the magical medium. I'm also Lula. A lot of people call me different things. My one dear friend calls me Tally. So whatever works, you know. But anyway, I want to let you know that I am still at my house sitting gig and I have taken so many pictures and video. I came here with plenty of room. I mean, and I thought, oh, I'll just like, you know, take video and pictures and all whatever. And it didn't dawn on me even until this morning that Spirit didn't want me to delete. They wanted me to do it in this format because I came here to collect that. I almost said data, but they said, I heard this voice say data. We collected data, right? Because I am, well, there's a lot of things happening, but basically whenever I am, I hope this isn't too loud because I realize I'm used to being in my little RV and I'm in these high pitched ceilings in this huge house. Well, it's a huge room anyway. It's the great room. And so it's like, hello. And anyway, I digress. There's so much good energy. Even though you guys aren't really live with me, I know you're here, right? Because I already like called everything in, but we're going to do some fun stuff. We're here to have fun. And I didn't want to limit. I could have deleted more stuff out of my phone. Ooh, when I looked down, it was 221 and then 222. But I didn't want to, it was really important to me that I not censor myself on this one. And even just now they pulled my energy back because we're in Aries season. We are in the Pisces moon and it's the full moon in Libra, which is air energy. So we have fire, we have water, and we have air. Without any grounding energy, it can really feel unstable, especially to the sensitives and the empaths that are very connected to the energy of the planet and the universe. It's not just this planet, it's the universe. So before you are many creatures that wanted to come in and speak with us today. I don't have fancy software. I brought it up a little bit, but they didn't want me to put the light on. And it's an awful dreary day. I mean, I was so excited to do this reading because I thought, oh, it's going to be beautiful. I'm like, oh, yes, can we do it at the full moon? I'm like, it'll be so awesome. Because in real time, it's in the morning of the full moon. So it's not even technically full yet. It won't be full until this evening and April 1st and then or April 2nd for those of us who are in different time zones. So it's a very interesting and precarious time. And it makes me think about like numbers and numerology as well, right? Because, oh, when I looked down, it was 354. Also, I saw 356, but 354 made me feel like we're not quite in order. And then 356 made me think of like, we just finished March, a 3-month, and 56 is the number 11, which is the angel number. But the 354 made me think like we're 10 steps ahead. You know, we have to do 4 before we get to 5. So, and because we just finished up March, thank you, March. And now we are welcoming April. Welcome, April. We are in a 4 number now for the month. And the month of May is the number 5. And I'm getting this vibe from Spirit that a lot of beautiful and pinnacle changes are going to happen for our tribe, each of us individually, even if it's just a glimmer of, you know, a spark of I don't want to say hope, because hope, I do think that it's interesting. They just had me post a shorts with one of the unicorns with the word hope on it. And I think that Spirit is trying to show us, because you know how like spirituality will like find one thing, and it's like every other thing, because the human brain wants to feel included. It's part of the ego that wants to feel accepted, feel included. So sometimes when somebody gets an idea and it feels really good to other people, they're like, oh my gosh, yes. And then everybody gets the idea, and Spirit's like, whoa, 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 back it up, back it up, back it up. So hope is a beautiful word because it implies that you have faith. But Spirit says, but now they've been dissecting the word hope, because they're saying hope actually implies, well, I hope it happens. Like, I hope it happens for you. But then there's some like negativity that you don't believe it's going to happen. But I think that hope is kind of the bridge word to faith. And sometimes people don't have the faith fully yet. And so Spirit wants us to forgive ourselves and forgive others, because right now we are in this cataclysm of kind of crazy, chaotic energy. And it's going to be like this for the next 2 to 3 years. However, and I know somebody just asked politically, Spirit saying, we're not going to speak about that right now, but they understand why your brain is going there, because we're seeing such crazy things. But remember, we're at rock bottom, okay? And for those of you who grew up in the church atmosphere, especially in a Christian kind of based church, but I know a lot of different religions. I was blessed to study many religions in my 20s, and I felt very strongly that the root of all religion was love and hope and faith, but that was in the light. But in the shadow of it, it was in control, domination. I want, gimme. You know, and it's like, you know, the baby, because when you're born, you can't do things for yourself, right? You're a baby. I'm just a baby, right? You can't do anything. You rely on people to clean your ass and wipe your face and, you know, burp you and all those good things, because you don't know how to do those things on your own yet. So we have to look at the world right now and the universe. You know, there are other planets that are going through this right now, and other solar systems and other part of the universe. You know, the universe is so vast, it just keeps creating itself. So there really is no beginning or end, because it's all kind of come together in a cataclysm, right? I think I'm saying that word correctly. If I'm not, please feel free to correct me. But I'm also channeling, so that's the words that keep coming to my mind. So we're going to channel today. We are going to work with the divine energy. A few things that are coming through. I heard drink some water. I'm going to do a full, I feel like somebody needs this. So drink some water. Taking some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Whatever works for you. If you're driving, if it's possible, pull over and go and get somewhere safe and cleanse your energy, or watch this later. If you're in a place where you can close your eyes, please do so. Self-care, I'm hearing from Spirit. Ground yourself, ground your energy. And while you're taking in some deep breaths, I'm going to light some ancient cedar from the ancestors. Away known, away know, away know, away know, away know, away know, hey, We release and let go of the energy that no longer serves the greatest and highest good of this collective, of this solar system, this planet, everything in it, and beyond, as above, so below. Miyagi this. In front of this blessed water on planet Earth, in the Pisces moon, in the full moon, in Libra, in the Aries energy, I call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all those that need these messages on this planet and beyond. I call upon the healing energies of the universe. We accepted it. And we push it out. As above, so below. And all the way around. Heal this house and heal this ground. Heal these souls that lie within. Through the lens and through the skin. We embrace. We release. We ask that you guide us through. Release the pain and suffering now. It doesn't belong to you. All you have to say is, I accept this healing energy from Mama Way. And all the energies of the ancestors are here to guide the way and keep it clear. They brush away the darkness, the sadness, and the saints, and all of those who walked before us, even the ones without the taints. Is that gross and vile for you to hear, that darkness in your ears? We need to clean out all the spaces in between the legs and traces of all the things that have taken us from our divine feminine, our masculine. Robbed us of who we are. Left only blood and guts and scars. Today, below, beneath the wind, we ride with the saints and the sinners across the lands. We cleanse this energy through our hands. All of the healers, put your hands high. Connect with me now, up into the sky. We release and let go of all that was and all that is, to make way for those who sit in silence and growth and spiritual sounds of cleansing energy. It's all around. Release your throat chakra, let it free. Speak, angels and witches, and set it free now. Are you embarrassed of us? Are you afraid to show your face? Are you afraid? We cry, please let it go. We suffered so much pain for you to flow. Don't you understand? Don't you hear our plea? Set your soul free. Don't give up. We see you. We know you hear us too. We're in your ears, we're in your soul, we're in your guts too. Please set yourself free, 'cause as you do, you set us free too. We've been waiting for this cosmic bliss. Please listen to me. I'm here. I'm you. I'm valid. I'm true. The old energy inside of you doesn't belong to you. It's residual. It's individual. The pain and suffering you endure. We're not saying we don't understand. We've been there too. Harder than you can possibly imagine what we suffered and gone through for you. This isn't guilt. This is oppression. We fought it with every lesson. So please, set it free. It's time to be me. Me is you. Let go and flow. Cry, get it out. It's what it's all about. Your human body can't hold it in. Don't you understand? All the sin. And it's not like they say in the books they created. It's an energy that permeated into our blood, into our bones. And it lives inside you. That's why you feel it too. But you don't have to anymore. Don't you feel how much more you have now? There is hope. There is faith. And you can't replace what you are. You are a bright shining star, seed, light worker, whatever you need. We have it for you, blessed angels too. We are one and the same. Don't you understand? It's just a game. Let it go. Don't you see? We are here to guide the way. You're not alone, not today, not ever, not ever, not ever. We're together, always. You are divinely protected. This transmission was to awaken your soul, to remember who you are, and go with the flow. We're going to repeat it every moment we can so that you understand this is the plan. You're all right. All is well. All is well. One step, one moment, one breath at a time. We got your back, honey. And this world is sublime.
So allow it in. Drink it up. The fifth dimensional energy is all fucked up. We understand. But it's only because it's overlapping the other dimensions as well. So you're not feeling it. Not yet. But you will. And those of you who feel it and understand, this was a gentle nudge and reminder to stick with the plan. You know what to do. It's individualized, but we'll guide you through. Remember who you are. Remember your place. Remember that you are divine, loving grace. And this was intense. We understand. But it's the last full moon energy. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, you guys, they just dropped off. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm like, is everybody okay? Oh my gosh, I was really fighting them too, and I didn't mean to, but it was like, it was my ego. They want me to take it from here, they said. And not to be gross or TMI, but I blow my nose all the time and it's clear, and it was like this, I don't know what the hell that was, but it just came out of my nose, and I feel like it like gathered from my body and like went out. Hello, drink some water. We're not totally done. There were so many energies and entities trying to sing, and it was, I don't even know where to go right now. Just give me a second. I was like, I don't even know where it's like they dropped off, and I was like going down like 5 different roads at the same time. And because while they were singing and talking and stuff, I was also seeing all these visions. Where you guys, feel free to comment below if you were seeing anything. My eyes were closed and I feel like I was possessed, so I'm not really. There were a few times they wanted me to really like belt things out or whatever, and I was fighting them because it was, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever do that again, but hi. That was a really serious transmission. And they told me they did it through music. Oh, I was going to light a fire this morning, but I wasn't drawn to. Interesting. I guess there's enough fire on the table for everybody, right? They're like, that's enough fire. This is more about the water and the air energy. The Pisces moon and the Libra full moon. Okay, the moon's in Libra, I mean. Okay. What they were trying to express was that this is the last moon cycle. Like, we won't be going into the new moon in Aries, you know, for another few weeks. Or actually, no, what's today? Yeah, another few weeks. Yeah, because today's the full moon. Sorry, I'm like, whoo, I need a minute. I'm like, I need a minute. Let's just breathe it out. Let's just breathe it out. Pause it if you need to. Take a break. Get some water or food if you need to. That was intense, you guys. Like, my whole body is like, I'm not joking. I really feel. And I also felt so much sadness, and I felt so much of you guys. And I just want you to know that, like, I'm never going to give up on you. I'm never going to give up on you. I promise I'm never going to give up on you. And I feel like somebody needed to hear that. I'm not going to give up on you. Spirit's never going to give up on you. Okay? And we can't give up on them, you know?
Because if you felt anything like I just felt, I feel like that scene in The Outsiders, in the original Outsiders, I know that was a book first, but in the original movie where Matt Dillon is like, let's do it for Johnny, man, let's do it for Johnny. I feel like that's the energy we have to encompass right now. Because we're not doing it for ourselves. We're doing it for the collective. We came here. If you found yourself in this reading, like you guys, we came here to be superheroes and unicorns and dragons and owls. And today, when I was like opening up, everything for the morning, I was like, wow, I'm like, that's got to be an eagle. This massive bird was flying across the water. And I just like, holy shit, I was like, that's an eagle. That's a total fucking eagle. And I said, Great Spirit, if it's in my greatest and highest good, could you fly this way and send me a sign if you want me to work with you in this reading today? Because I knew we were bringing the owl in, right? Air energy. And this beautiful candle holder. I'm so mad because I just washed it and it was like pristine condition. And then I went to pick it up and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. And I spilled wax, so I'm gonna have to clean it again. But do you guys remember these old school? I love it so much. So I was feeling bird energy, with the air energy. But anyway, so as I was looking at the eagle, I saw them flying over the water and I realized they were getting food. They were fishing. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it's like, stormy and rainy here. I'll show you. It's stormy and rainy out there today. Like, it's not, by the way, while we're here, look at that new leaf that's unfolding. I don't want to mess with the lighting, but oh my gosh, my tears are everywhere. That's okay. It's my inner child sometimes. It just like wants to be heard. And I used to only use that voice with like my significant other, sometimes my friends. And then I realized I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use my voices when I want to use my voices. And I don't care that I'm 54. Like, that's who I am, Okay. That's my Scorpio moon coming out right now. And this full moon energy. Wow, I didn't snap that. I think it's my phone. So anyway, the eagle's soaring over the water. And I saw them go down like the fucking awesome hunter that they are. And they dove right in and grabbed a fish and flew right towards me. And it was beautiful. It was a mature one because in this area, I see all different ones all the time. And I mean, I really do, like all ages. I see really young, I haven't seen any baby eagles or heard any baby eagles, but I'm saying like if they're flying, I've seen them from like younger where they're brown and then with white flecks to, they don't get the white on their tail. Oh, sorry, hummingbird. They don't get the white on their tail and on their head until they reach a certain maturity. I don't remember the age, but this one I could just feel it was like a strong Vera. You know what I mean? It was like, it was probably like my age, like a middle-aged one. You know what I mean? Like not young, but not old. And they were so strong. And I just felt like, it was like that eagle that would be the picture of something. You know what I mean? It was just so beautiful and regal. So work with eagle spirit medicine, work with owl spirit medicine, work with unicorn spirit medicine. And yeah, just like, and obviously dragon. And we're going to pull some cards and we're going to talk because, I mean, all these magical things are happening today. It's the full moon in Libra, but it's also the first day of April. So I want to do our monthly forecast with, our astrology calendar, and we're going to pull some cards. I don't know if we're going to prepare for a pick a reading or not. I wanted to do a pick a reading here, but it may not be on the cards. I'm not quite sure. I have a lot going on here and I still have a lot to do before I leave. So I guess we'll just kind of play it by ear. But these emotions needed to come out today. And I even forgot. I was like, oh yeah, April Fool's, haha. Like I totally, like, I don't even look at that stuff anymore. Like that's such a third dimensional reality to me. And again, maybe it's not. Maybe it's something that's been going on for centuries and it's part of, you know, some spiritual thing. I don't know. It's just prankster day. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I don't really like April Fool's Day because I think things can be. I like it for the playful side, but I think when people go too far, it goes too far. And the last time I did something that I thought was funny, I made someone cry, so I never did it again. I thought it was funny. They did not think it was funny, and it was something like I told them was going to happen. Then I was like, "Oh, April Fool's," and they were like, "Oh, dude, I really thought that was going to happen." And they started crying. I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, and they're such a beautiful, sensitive soul, and I loved them so much, and it like broke my heart. And I'm like, you know what? I'm never doing it again. But on the cute side of it, my childhood friend growing up, her dad like lived for it. And so every year on April Fool's, he would call her and tell her, you know, something, you know, and then, you know, it was, he did it in a very endearing grandpa way. You know what I mean? Anyway, I digress. Also, it is the full pink moon, and they call it the pink moon because of, I think they call it the phlox. It's those pink, they're one of the first flowers that show themselves in the Northern Hemisphere, in the United States anyway. I don't know, or maybe it's just the Northern Hemisphere. I don't know. I don't know if they grow everywhere. I don't know if they came from, you know, another country and came to the US, you know what I mean? But it is the pink moon. They call it the pink moon in the Native American energy. I believe it's under that one because, or I think the frog moon may be Native American. But either way, it's because it's the month that the flowers first start blooming, you know, and the blooms that, we'll drink some water, the blooms that tend to come up first were the pink ones. Some people claim there's a pink hue around the moon. I think you could see whatever you want to see. You know what I mean? Ooh, when I looked down, it was 32. So 3 and 2 is 5, and 5s are about change and transformation, and April is the change and transformation month until we get to the 5th month of May. And so starting with that, I don't know if they want me, let me see, Spirit, do you want me to take a little break before? Yeah, I'm going to take a short break and kind of clean myself up. So because it's on the live mode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in like a mute microphone, but I'll go up a little bit. You may get a hummingbird sighting. So I'll do it like that. I unfortunately had to take the hummingbird feeders down, which I'll tell you guys about later. But right now I am going to take a little break and I'll be right back. Enjoy the video. Okay, whew, when I looked down, it was 34, 33. So work with all these numbers. If you're new here, when I call out numbers, they're angel numbers to work with. I don't know if I'm going to edit this before it it's posted, you know what I mean? So I will, however, go back and put them in, or I'll go and put together like a summation of this, like with spirit animals, angel numbers, whatever other things that come out, and I will put it in the community section. So always check out the community section. And if you're a subscriber, you're allowed to post in the community section. So far, Anna is the only one. I think Anna, and there was someone who posted when it first came out, and I don't remember if they did again. I don't think so. Anyway, but thank you, Anna, for all your contributions to this channel. We really appreciate you. So drink some water. All right. Whew, you guys. I love you guys so much. This is intense. Like I've said this so many times. I really don't know, In fact, sometimes I get frustrated because I'll get vibes of like what's going to happen, but they don't tell me. And when something like this, I'm really starting to understand how much I'm still trying to control everything. And it's frustrating for me, and I can tell it's frustrating for my partner. And I've just been noticing how much I've been unraveling since I've been here. This is the third time that I have been house sitting here since mid-February. It was actually February 17th, so however long that is. And it's been such an intense period of transition and learning and growing and releasing and evolving and shifting. And I'm just realizing how much I don't want to be involved in certain things anymore. Like, for real. I mean, honestly, I don't know how to explain it any other way. I feel like all of these things that are happening right now couldn't happen any sooner. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of, I feel like we've just been preparing ourselves for this kind of rock bottom for so long that now that it's here and we're in the soup, it's just, there are days that I'm just so overwhelmed. And if you guys are feeling the same way, please feel free to share in the description box, in the comments below. I think now is the time for us to be the most real with each other that we've ever been. I just got the chills from spirit. They want us to understand and remember like who and what we are, and that our ancestors went through so much. And if you found yourself here, you are indeed, in fact, the ancestral lineage breaker. So we don't have the luxury to hide anymore in our third dimensional identities. And it's kind of like, if Superman had stayed Clark Kent the whole time, you know what I mean? It'd be like, then why did we send you there? Like, if we sent you there to help the humans and you're just there existing among them because you got a crush on Lois Lane and you just want to get married and have kids and, have the house and the picket fence, or like, good luck with that, because that's not why we brought you there. We're not marionettes, they're not like pulling our strings, but they will make our lives uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. They will make, and it's not they, it's us, like as a collective, like we will make ourselves sick. We will make ourselves like mentally, emotionally, and physically unwell until we say enough of this shit. I am going to take better care of myself. I am going to move out of this place. I am going to leave that job. I am going to go to this thing. I am going to take that risk because I know the reward is great. If you hear a calling, if spirit is calling to you, this is not the time to rest on our laurels, you guys. It's really, really not. And I have to tell you, I have been tested too. We all have them. One of the worst tests that could possibly happen for me is death, because I love, respect, and revere animals and all living beings, and I cannot tolerate, it's hard for me to swallow watching and witnessing and or like being privy to or a part of one creature killing another creature. It rips me apart. It makes me so sad. I can't even tell you. And the first visit that I came to do this cat sitting and house sitting gig was for 3 nights and 4 days. And it was lovely. And it wasn't easy, but it was good. And I was like, okay. And I could see where, then I knew I was going to be coming for another time. But then another one slipped in between there, and that was for 6 nights and 7 days. And in that time, I got closer to the house. I got closer to the cat. And oh my gosh, you guys, is that it? Hold on. I don't have my glasses on. I can't tell if they're ravens or eagles. I think they're ravens. So 2 ravens just went by. So Raven 2, and ravens, the ravens, the crows, all the corvids are, they are like representations of magic, which, by the way, if you guys remember, the Tufted Blue Jay came to me after my dad died, and I have traveled all over, and the Tufted Blue Jay will come to me when I need it the most. And recently, I was talking to the neighbor downstairs because she rents her full basement to someone, and we've become really great confidants, and they are psychotherapists, and so we've had such amazing conversations, and I really look forward to spending time with them. But anyway, I was sharing with them, this Tufted Blue Jay, and they're like, oh my gosh, they're like, I've never seen, and they've lived here 3 years. She's like, I've never seen a blue jay here. I've never seen a Tufted Blue Jay here. I'm like, oh, that's my dad. I'm like, oh, cool. I just got the chills. So if you're drawn to it, you may want to work with the blue jay as well, but specifically the Tufted Blue Jay, because they do hold a little bit different magic and medicine. But anyway, with all that being said, I've been having a blast with these hummingbirds. I've taken so much footage, pictures, video. Just flooded with like hummingbird medicine. And hummingbirds represent joy and happiness and being free, and, and for having, connecting to the heart chakra. So for 2 visits, I played with these hummingbirds. She has 2 feeders in the window, and look in the shorts, you'll see, or I think in one of the last podcast Prophet that I put out, the cover photo, or I think I did, no, I didn't do it black. I had it on the hummingbirds the whole time. So if Spirit calls me to, I'll put a link in the description box. Otherwise, search on your own. I have playlists, I've got, the podcast Prophet, and then pick readings and group readings and moon readings. And sometimes, like today, it's one and the same, right? It's the full moon and it's the first day of April. So it's, I'll put them in both usually. But anyway, I digress. Lots happening to me here. So just magical. Got here last Tuesday. Today in real time is Wednesday the 1st. And I think it was Friday night. So from Tuesday to Friday night, everything was great. Having a blast with Anna, the cat, having a blast with the house, the hummingbirds. The raccoon and I are like tight, and we're thick as thieves. We're like super best friends. I've been like feeding them, taking care of them, researching it, finding out like all the food she told me to give them is like actually super, super bad for them. So I wondered why Spirit had me get so much fruit and make extra popcorn and stuff. And so I've been feeding the raccoon healthy stuff and peanut butter. They love peanut butter. And I got a big thing of peanut butter. So it's been really great. And between all of the birds, there's been so many. And on top of that, seals, harbor seals, a kingfish salmon, a porpoise. The only thing I haven't seen yet is a whale or an orca, but she said in 3 years, and as far as she knows, even them living here since 1998, she's like, I don't know if they've ever seen whales in here. She's like, I feel like she would have told me that. But I haven't seen any, and I don't know if it's not deep enough for them out here, but I don't know. We had a magical sailboat come through here the other day. I mean, it's just been nothing but fucking magic, and like nothing but net, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh man, I love it here. And I was like, I'm gonna do another deep cleaning next week, and everything was good. Friday night, or I should say Friday, I was working and I had been doing stuff all day. And so I decided to drink some water. I decided to make some dinner and relax. And I noticed Anna was getting really frisky, like she wanted to play, and it was dusk, you know? And I said, can you wait just a few minutes? I said, so I can eat. I said, I'm so hungry right now. I said, can you just wait and I'll be done eating in like 5 minutes and then we can play? And she was sitting there and I was like, okay, cool. And all of a sudden I've been not watching my phone, but like watching nature. It's been so great. So I'm sitting here having my dinner, talking to the hummingbirds, looking at the hummingbirds, having a great conversation with them. And then all of a sudden there was like, I mean, at any given time we can have between 4 and 6 of them. But this was crazy. I like actually took footage of it because I've never seen that many hummingbirds like all at once. There was like 8 to 12 of them. They were fighting over the 2 feeders and I was laughing. I decided to videotape it and I was laughing to you guys because I wanted to share it with you guys. And I was like, I feel like I'm watching West Side Story, you know, when you're a jet, you're a jet. They were like, you could tell like, they were like this group and this group and they were like fighting each other. And it was like 1 minute, it was so funny. And the next minute I see Anna outside and I didn't think anything of it. I've seen her outside when they're there. You know, and she never told me anything that, oh, she has a high prey drive. Oh, she has, yes, prepare empaths because that's where it's going. I'm sorry to say, I'm sorry to share this with you, but they want me to share it. So feel free to cry. Maybe it's, you know, like maybe you're Cameron Diaz, you know, in the Holiday, whatever the name of that movie is, where she never cries. And at the end, she finally cries. And, you know, oh, when I look down, it's 46, which and we're in the month of April. The number 6 is our angel number for the year. And if you add them together, it's the number 10 and 2026 is a 10 year. It's about completion. So we are at the end of certain cycles. And I was videotaping 1 minute and the next minute I saw Anna leap into the air and you can hear me on the video. I don't know if they're going to have me share it with you or not, but you can hear me on the video go, no, Anna, no, or something like that. I like screamed and I put my phone down and I, you know, when I put it down, I just hit stop at the same time and I ran outside. And when I ran outside, I could see she had something in her mouth and I'm like, no, I'm like, put it down. I'm like, put it down now. But because it happened so fast and she's not my animal and I've never seen her do that since I've been here. And like, there's been birds and you know what I mean? Like this place, I feel like fucking Snow White. Like I've never even seen her go after one, you know, and I've been playing with her. I brought her feathers, like she's been fine. And I didn't bring her feathers the first time. I wanted to get to know her. So I brought feathers. I thought it was going to be for this, you know, for the air energy, for the altar. I had no idea. And, you know, they had me bring Matilda in, but I didn't know if, you know, if it was because she has like, you know, messages inside. So long story short, I ran outside and then yelled for her to drop it or whatever. And then she ran inside her cat door. And so I ran back in the house and when she was coming towards me, I could see it in her mouth. I was like, drop it. I'm like, drop it. I'm like, let it go. And then she ran the other way. And then she went back out her cat door outside. And by the time I got to it, it was fucking dead. I mean, of course, you know, she's like going through the cat. I mean, if she didn't kill it with her mouth, I'm sure the cat door, you know what I mean? Like, because it's the smallest, most narrow cat door. I don't even know how she gets through it. And so either way, I went outside and I ended up taking a video of them to do a prayer over them. And again, I don't know if I'll show that video or not, but it was excruciatingly painful. And I have seen so many different kinds and breeds of hummingbirds here. So many beautiful, magical little, you know, and this was, I don't know which one it was exactly, but it was one of the big ones, the really big ones. with the green iridescent and the pink around their throat. Because I think the ruby red throat is just the red around their throat. This was the one that's like pink and it's like super fucking magical. They're so magical. Like they're so magical. And even though every part of me knows that like it's their time and whatever, I fucking crucified myself. I hung myself on the cross. I fucking, stabbed myself. I mean, I was like Jesus on the cross for real. I know that sounds extreme, but because I was like, if I played with her, would she have done that? I almost texted the neighbor downstairs because I'm like, there's no way she didn't hear that. I mean, it was like, I know she was home and it was, screaming and me, I wasn't just, I was like trying to bring him back to life. Like I didn't care. I mean, I know she knows 5035, which is also number 13 and the number 4, the divine feminine. Interesting. Thank you, Spirit. In this 4th month. But I was like holding this hummingbird in my hands and I was like calling to the spirits like at the water and I was just like, bring this creature back to life. I'm like, bring this, I was like doing all these things because some of you know I have resuscitated things before. Not people. I mean, I've helped people who are at the brink of death, but like this was like, I brought a bumblebee back to life that was like at the brink of death and prayed over it and held it in my hands and felt the energy in my hands and like gave it water and all that. Like, I've had experiences. I had a snake like that once. But its neck was broken, and it was just devastating. So I went from having this magical time to her like, come on, let's play. Like she had no remorse whatsoever. She had no, and I was like, you just murdered. I was holding it in my hands and I was like, and I put it under her face and I said, you just murdered this creature. I'm like, not for food, not for anything else, but for, I'm like, and even if they were bringing it to me, I don't care when people say that, that's bullshit. Cats are highly intelligent. And she's a witchy kitty. She's black with gold eyes, man. Like she is witchy. She's got even little black beanie toes. I feel like the fire wants to be seen more. Black whiskers. Like she is. And it was, the sad thing is that some people don't understand that even with animals, I can sense energy. She was very proud of herself. She had no remorse whatsoever. No, she was like, no, I don't fucking care. And I said, well, you know what? You should care. I said, you should care. You want to know why? I said, because how would you feel if a coyote wanted to play with you? And you were its little plaything, because there's coyotes all over this fucking place. I said, how would you feel? I'm like, you wouldn't like it very much. You'd be terrorized. I was like, not cool. So she and I wouldn't let her sleep by me. Like I wouldn't, I turned on her because I felt like she turned on me. And I felt like she turned on Gaia. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I have never felt so angry. Like I used to get angry like that at Baba, but this was different. This was like, I'm caring for this animal. You know what I mean? So like, I don't want to traumatize them or like, it's like, obviously they, but then I was very frustrated with the owner because I'm like, this isn't something, okay. It's like, that's how they tell me when they don't want it, so maybe we'll go here. But I felt very traumatized. And I felt like she just took too much joy in killing it. And I was like, I can't be friends with murderers. Oh my gosh, you guys, I don't know who this is for, but this is like super fidgety. Maybe they're trying to tell you to stop trying to make everything perfect or stop trying to make, like let the shadow come out. Because I know she knows. I've had conversations with her. I've gotten to know her. You know what I mean? I'm a telepathic medium. And I said that to her. I was like, you fucking forget what I am, Missy. I was like, and I said that to her. I go, you're 8 years old. I said, technically, you're like me. You're like mid-age. you're middle-aged. I said, you should know better. I said, and the first fucking rule of the healer, which angel, light worker, whatever you want to call it, the first rule is, or the main rule is, first do no harm. First do no harm. So I'm like, I have a tough time with that. Yes. Because she is absolutely, positively, you know, and then the anger threw back at me and the mirror held up and I realized 5526, I was angry at myself because everything told me to play with her first, but I didn't want my food to get cold. But if I just played with her for 15 minutes, she might not have killed that bird. And I've been researching it, and they did say that. They said, you know, cats that have a high prey drive, dusk and dawn are the worst times. You know, that's when they really want to hunt. They're hunters. And I'm glad that she's a hunter, and I know that they were designed for that. But there are also some that are very sentient and are familiars. And they, like, she has so many toys and catnip, and she's the queen. I mean, I feed her fucking shrimp. I take shrimp out of the freezer and heat it up for her and cook it and give it. I mean, she's a princess. You know what I mean? But I was like, not in this fucking, no, not with me. I said, maybe with your mom. I'm like, but I'm not going to allow you to kill things. Sorry. So then the next day, thank goddess, the neighbor was outside, and I came outside and I saw them, and I was just like, oh, hi, you know. By the way, I just looked out and there's a bunch of ducks. So work with duck spirit medicine, because also ducks are all about like letting shit like flow off us, like water off a duck's back, you know. But also ducks are very magical, right? Because they're half in the water and half out, right? Like they're in the water, they're out of the water. And I feel like that was meant for somebody too, or maybe the duck might be a spirit animal for you. But anyway, I found out from the neighbor that she has an incredibly high prey drive, incredibly high, and that this is not her first time. So that angered me and upset me, because that is something, and it's my fault too, because usually when I sit for animals, I ask questions like that so that I know, because especially she's indoor, outdoor, she has a cat door. It's not like I'm letting her out. It's like she can come and go as she pleases. She's in and out all day, all night long. She can go out in the middle of the night, which, see, with me, with Bubba, no way, I would never do that. Like I was like, when I'm in at night, Bubba's in at night. During the day, it's fine, but like I know there's coyotes out at night. So, but she's raised up, you know, and the coyotes most likely wouldn't come up the stairs unless they were like starving to death or something, you know. So she stays up here. Plus, she can get through that cat door, and there's no way they can fit through that cat door. So, you know, she's pretty quick and stealthy. But yeah, it was very upsetting, and I ended up talking to them because I said, you know, I did a little kind of like a wake for the hummingbird, and I videotaped it and took some pictures. And then the next morning I buried them. And so I said, I'm going to bury the hummingbird. And this is when I really started to like just fall in love with, in like a soul sister vibe, you know, with the neighbor. I don't want to say their name because I haven't asked them if it's okay, but I said, I'm going to do this funeral for the hummingbird. And she's like, oh, how come? It was so sweet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love her. I love her. I love her. So we ended up having this funeral, and we both said some beautiful things for this hummingbird, and we buried him in a really beautiful place by this stump. You know, it was gorgeous in this little elder tree pod. And then I found out, you know, about that. And so I was really frustrated. So I decided that I wasn't going to let her out anymore unless, you know, she was with me. And yesterday, was it yesterday? What's today? Wednesday? Oh no. So she killed one on Friday, had the funeral on Saturday. Oh, and then Saturday morning when she and I were out, we saw a porpoise, and then we saw the harbor seal. and had a great time together. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous outside. We just sat out in the sun. It was just like a magical day. It was like one of my favorite days since I've, been on this property. It was just really nice. And then Sunday was good. I took a day to just relax. And then Monday, I thought I had shut the bedroom door, but I was working on the house on Monday. And long story short, she got out and I didn't realize she was out until I saw her run. And then I was like, what is she doing? But it looked like she was running back into the house. So I was like, oh, and then when I went to catch her, she ran into the house. She ran past me, came over in front of the fireplace and dropped another hummingbird in front of my face on the fucking carpet. And it was dead. And I'm like, that's it. I'm like, you're done. You're done. I go, the only way you're going outside is if you're with me. I said, nope. I'm like, you are in. I'm like, that is it. I'm like, two dead hummingbirds in that short of time. I was like, it's just not, no. I'm going to tell you guys right now, like I was so sad. And the interesting thing was I didn't cry as hard the second time. I mean, I shed a tear and I was sad, but I was like, it was more like, just shock. And this was a different one. This was one of the smaller ones and it had like this like speckled like breast. It was so beautiful. I was like, gosh, I'm like, and I'd been talking to her and she was sitting outside when we were having the funeral. She was interested. And I said, yeah, you want to come to the funeral? I'm like, you did kill them. I'm like, would you like to come and pay your respects? Because I sat with spirit and I was like, was she, I mean, obviously they gave their lives for all these lessons that we're learning and I'm speaking about now, but also at the same time, it's that some things have to change. So I took the hummingbird feeders down because I had taken them down that night, I think. And I was just like, whatever. And then spirit told me to put them back out on Sunday, I think. And then it was like rain. It was rainy and gross. And so I just kept her in the house. We just stayed in the house. And when she wanted to go outside, we went out in the front and I made her come back in. It was actually really funny because yesterday I had to keep like going, come on, it's time to go back in, And then when I went to pick her up, she was like, no, because she just wanted to lay there. And I was like, we've been outside. We were in front, we were outside. Like, I was like, you had enough outdoor time. I'm like, trust me. I'm like, you've had more outdoor time today than some cats ever seen in their lifetime. I'm like, we were going inside. I felt like her true babysitter, where I was just like, your mom's not here. I'm like, I'm sorry. I mean, I tried to abide by everything, but I was like, it's just too much. I'm like, it's too much. Especially because I know they know how sensitive I am and how much I love animals. And I feel like that would have been the time to say, just to let you know, she has a high prey drive. Because again, if I knew that, I would have been outside with her every time. But I feel like there's a lesson in that too. And I'm definitely going to speak to the owner about that because I took them down and they're done. As far as I'm concerned, like they're not going back up, and I'm going to really urge her to put them in a place that the cat cannot get to. I get that she wants to feed them and they have probably been coming here for, 30 years or whatever that she's been here. But I was like, and I mean, trust me, they have been coming here. I had to close the blinds, which the view is so magical, but I had to close the blinds quite a few times actually, because it was breaking my heart. And they were like flying under, like, hey, Lula, like even when I had it like halfway, they would go like super low, like, hey, where's her? And then they started coming to the door and like sitting. They were literally like sitting. And you guys know hummingbirds don't, I mean, they do perch, but it's not like, there was like a few of them. There was like 3 of them sitting outside the door, like perched, like, bitch, give us our food. And I was like, you guys, no. I'm like, I buried 2 of you in the last week. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm like, I can't do it. So I had a second funeral, and now I'm just like, yeah. So my moon in Scorpio was just like, no, bitch, I don't fucking think so. Meaning like, like to the energy, bitch is the energy. Like, I'm not going to let this shadow. And I also felt like it was a way for, like, I've been working with her and talking to her. And, I said, I'm like, Baba went through that too. I said, you're like going into your crone. And I said, your killing days are over. I'm like, that's done. I'm like, because I feel like there's so much magic happening on this property with these women. And it's, it's interesting because it was like her husband, has dementia, and so she couldn't care for him anymore after several years, so she had to put him in a facility last September. And there were two cats, Anna, which is the female, and then I don't remember, I thought his name was Ollie, but she said his name was Tiger. And I was like, oh, I could have sworn she said his name was Ollie. I don't know where the hell I got Ollie from, but maybe that was like an old cat she told me a story about. I don't know. But either way, Tiger was a male. So I think it's interesting that last year there was the neighbor downstairs is divine feminine, right? Represented. And then the owner is a woman that I'm dealing with right now. But you know what I mean? It's like, and then Anna the cat. So there's like 3 divine feminine and then the 2 divine masculine. And her partner, her husband went into the facility in September, and then the male cat died in October. So I just feel like I was meant to come here and kind of like sweep out like the old energy. And that's what I've been doing. It's really interesting. And there is a shadow and a darkness around her, around Anna, the cat, that's, I feel like she's taken on, that's not hers. And people don't realize, but animals can get possessed by energy too. So, I mean, it was the way she did it the second time. She just went, like, looked at me with it in her mouth on the rug, like, and dropped it like, what, bitch, what? Like, what are you going to fucking do? What are you going to do, bitch? I was like, oh my God. I'm like, you are naughty. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, nope, no more going outside today. And I said, no more going outside until I leave. And then yesterday, so that was Monday night. So Tuesday, I didn't let her out at all. No, I let her out, but I think I let her, what's today? Wednesday? No, that was yesterday. Oh yeah, so yesterday, all my days are running into each other. So yesterday was the day that we were outside. It was gorgeous. We were outside a lot. We were on the balcony, we were down on the grass. We almost went down to the water. Like, I mean, and we went out in front and played, you know, I mean, we were outside a lot yesterday. And then so far today, the weather's really crappy and she's sleeping, so all is well. But I'm going to keep her in today, and then tomorrow is going to be nice, and so I'll do the same thing. But I was like, you know what? She just can't be outside. You know, I did some research, and do you know that 6 million birds, that they estimate about 6 million birds are killed a year just by cats, by indoor outdoor cats. And I was like, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of birds. And I understand that there are a lot of birds. There are probably 6 million birds in this vicinity. You know what I mean? I don't know, I'm kidding, but maybe on the peninsula. But what it made me realize is that we keep saying like, oh, that's just the way they are, or that's just the way, you know, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, it reminds me and likens to what I heard recently from Dr. Gabor Mate when he's talking about the sitting American president. And he's like, you can hate him, you can love him, whatever. He's like, but we always have to remember that even the most vile, you know, people, or the vile people we deem monsters, were still babies. They were babies that came into this world, and they were taught certain behaviors, or they weren't taught not to be that way. And so, you know, it's like, it's just interesting. And a lot of people, they don't even mean to, you know, they're like, oh yeah. And, you know, the neighbor said, that's why, you know, she's like, I love her, you know, she's like, meaning like the cat. She's like, I love her. She's like, but I can't have cats. She's like, it's just, you know, it's like, we're both saying like, we love and respect their nature and understand that it's part of their existence. But at the same time, they're not eating them. We only, like, you know, other animals kill animals, people kill animals, you know, for food or whatever, but we are not meant to breed killers. And if she were in the wild, she may kill the birds for sport, but most likely she would, you know, kill them to eat them. And of course they have the prey drive. And of course, you know, people would argue with me, cat people, but I'd be like, I've literally had cats for like 30 years. And I'm telling you, I have seen all different things. But if you play with your cats, or if they have a playmate, they're less likely to kill. They might do it once in a while, but 2 in a fucking week, or 2 within Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 2 within 4 days. That's something that's not right, you know, especially in my experience with the witchy kitties. It's like she's doing it for attention, you know, and it was the way the second time. The first time, to be honest, I feel like she was bored, but she was also irritated because every day that I've been here, I've spent so much time with her. Because the mom told me, you know, she's kind of spoiled. She told me she's spoiled with her food. She's spoiled. She literally told me that. She's like, if she flops in front of you, she wants you to pet her. She wants attention. And I realized, I was like, I could never have, or this cat and I would have a different relationship because she's needy baby, greedy baby. She doesn't need that much attention. No cats need that much attention. You know? It's such a diva mentality. And I have noticed that when we made up on Saturday, I slept on it, you know, and the next morning I said, we need to have a talk. And you know, I know, you know what I mean? Like, I can feel it with every fiber of my being. She knew exactly what I was saying. She knows what's going on. But if we continue to allow people, animals, whatever situations to get their way or get what they want, because that's the way it's always been. It's that old saying, if you give what you always give, you'll get what you always got, you know, or if you give what you always give, you'll receive what you always, you know, receive, whatever. I know I'm not saying it correctly, but you get the gist, right? So a lot of times people, they don't set boundaries. They don't, I mean, we have to set boundaries with our animals too. And there has to be consequences. You don't get to go outside. You're not allowed to just go and murder at will. And at the same time, where the feeders are, she's up high. So they're coming up, they see the color. And so she, you know, stalks them through, see these? She sits out there and she stalks them. And when I caught her, I was sitting right here and she climbed, she like shimmied up this so fast, jumped high up into the air, climbed on here, grabbed a bird and jumped down and went that, it was just that quickly. Like there was, you know what I mean? I'm like, I couldn't have caught her if I tried. Unless I was a superhero and go through the glass and, you know what I mean? And whatever, but you know, this is where the hummingbird feeders are. Up in that window, you can kind of see where the metal things are hanging down. So that day when I took that video, when I was saying like they were everywhere and acting crazy, it's almost like she couldn't help herself. There were so many of them. She was like, I have to do it. It was like she was compelled. But it was so upsetting. I mean, it was devastating. I was like, it's just, anyway, I don't want to continue this, but you guys get the gist. But I realized that all of that in my experiences are like a metaphor for like what's happening on the planet right now. The more people allow these oligarchs to do this, the more they'll just keep doing it. They're not going to stop until we stop them. And the way to stop them is to not feed into it. Don't buy their products. Don't, you know, don't stay at their hotels. Don't buy their things. Don't, you know, and so many people are so tied into them, stocks, bonds. It's like, if you look at it, it's so cleverly created. And Grandmother Spider is another one to work with. She's been coming to us too. There's a few spiders in here, but there's this one real big spider that I connected with, unfortunately, when I was doing some dusting and cleaning. And I let them be for a while. I was like, you need to clear out of here. I'm like, because I'm gonna, but anyway, but you know, spiders weave their webs, you know, and if you ever watch a spider weave their web, it's very meticulous. When I looked down, it was 113.55, and it's interesting because it was 1 about new beginnings, 13, you know, is the divine feminine, and 55 is like a double like time for change and transformation, you know, because when you add it together, it's 10, it's like it's completion. Go back 13, it's 4. Like I said, we're in the April month and we're in new beginnings. So the whole month of April is going to like be showing us a lot of things. We're going to be seeing so much, but things will lighten up in May. And that's the energy I'm getting from Spirit, is that it will definitely positively start to lighten up if you are walking in the divine, if you are walking in light and happiness and joy and going towards your path and purpose, everything's going to flow for you. But if you're still in the same places and spinning the same wheels and think in some miraculous way that it's just going to change on its own, it's not. You have to be the, do you see that? You have to be the change. We all have to be the change. So when I leave here, it's none of my business what happens. But while I'm here, I'm like, I've been to 2 funerals. I don't plan on going to a third. So you know what? I'm like, she's getting some change. The other thing that made me like, I was like, was it me? Because this was before I knew from her. So Friday night I beat the shit out of myself because she's like, the owner was like, she's, really finicky. She hasn't been eating and blah, blah, blah. I spoke about it in this other podcast. I don't know when they're going to have me put it out, but it likens to this conversation very deeply. It's pretty much the whole thing. I think I talked about it then too, but I don't know if everybody will listen to both, but I'm sure there's different details in each story that maybe I didn't remember or will come to light. But what was interesting is that I was pulled to bring her some food, some like real food, because she eats a lot of like processed like Friskies and things like that. So I went to the pet store that I used to get Bubba's food from and the animal food store, and got her these samples of like real food. And so that's why I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, is that why, because like she's been eating really well. I'm like, I don't know, it's like, it's one of those things. But when I found out again from the neighbor, she was like, please be gentle with yourself. She's like, because I really don't think it matters. She's like, I don't. She's like, I would say something if I did. She's like, I think what doesn't matter what you feed her. I don't think it, because I was changing her diet, but she seemed to like it. I brought her some pumpkin, for cats, and she didn't eat it at first, but then she really loved it, so I'm just introducing, and it's like anybody else, if you're feeding somebody junk forever and then you give them healthy food, it is kind of a shock to the system because our bodies adapt and assimilate and do the best they can. But that's why our cells break down and why people are getting cancers and all these things are happening in their bodies. And I tried to give her Reiki, Anna the cat, and she didn't want it. And then the other day she like flopped out right next to me and exposed her belly. And I just felt my hands get hot, and I called in our higher selves and I worked on her, and she just fell asleep. And I worked on her for a long time, and I'm like, yeah, she's definitely having issues. I think it's just that thing, like it's like us, those of us like I'm 54. My body's like, I got a frozen pizza, and I was like, I'm going to treat myself, and it doesn't matter if it's organic and vegan, all that. It doesn't matter. My body just doesn't really want processed foods. End of story. My body's like, I don't know how many fucking times I need to tell you that I just don't like this. So you can still do it once in a while and it's fine and I'll deal with it, but like, I just don't like it. So I feel like, when I was raking her, I was like, oh, she's going through some major changes. But I also wouldn't be surprised if there's something going on there. But I can tell she was also blocking me. Like she didn't want me to see certain things, or spirit was blocking me. So I'm just going to leave that alone and put a pin in that for a minute until I can like really sit with it outside of this space, and and then come back. And once I'm like more grounded and centered in my own energy, I'll be able to, focus on her health a little bit more. But I just realized like, we really are on our own here in terms of like our self-care. We call on the spirits and our higher self and the energies, the healing energies and our protectors and all that every day for guidance and assistance. They won't help us if we don't ask them for help. They are here to, like, obviously, if you're not meant to walk in front of that bus, someone's going to pull you out of the way, but at the same time, in our own healing journey and our own healing process, it's like we can't put the cart before the horse. The horse needs to be healthy in order for them to pull the cart. So, and I'm hearing from spirit, they no longer want us to pull the dead weight of our past with us into the future. So I don't know who needed all that or that information, but it's been an interesting time, and it's been teaching me too, because I said to her, I'm like, I love you, but I don't like you right now. I mean, because I was crying. I cried for like hours. And the next day the neighbor's like, I almost reached out to you, and she was beating herself up. She's like, I should have. And I was like, dude, I'm like, you're a fucking therapist and you just worked a full week. It was Friday night. I'm like, I knew that's exactly why she didn't. She was exhausted. And I said, I can take care of myself. And I think they needed that too, you know, because as therapists, sometimes we get that kind of savior syndrome where we just want to help everybody. We want to save everybody, but we can't do that. And if you work in some type of energy like that, or you're helping people, you know, all the time, that could be, you know, a message from spirit for you as well. You know, we can't be there for each other all the time, but the next morning we sat there, you know, we just took in the energy. We were out there for like, I don't know, 3 hours plus, and just enjoyed the morning and enjoyed the animals and got to know each other and shared, you know, war stories. It was really cool. And she's going more spiritual in her practice. So she really was excited for us to meet. And I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have dinner together before I leave. And I really look forward to that. And, you know, and even that, like, I loved the way that we came together. We both had like common, like, courtesy for, that's a big thing for me. If I, you know, talk to somebody about getting together for a meal and they don't, of course they don't have to bring anything, but there's something really nice about just at least offering, you know, can I bring anything? Can I do anything? You know, you're cooking, what can I do? Or can I bring a dish? Can I bring a beverage? Or, you know, or at least show up with, like, you know, fresh cut flowers or something, you know. It's the exchange of energy of having somebody, you know, invite you into their home. And in this situation, I'm, you know, the neighbor's home, or, you know, the owner's home, but they're neighbors. And she told me that they are, you know, that she's had her up here a few times for tea and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I digress. But it was really nice to have those conversations with them, and then for them to humanize my experience as well and say, you know, even though you are what you are, she's like, you can't be there for everybody all the time. You can't be everything to everybody all the time. She mirrored that back to me. And I started to cry because I was like, yeah, I'm like, I felt so bad though. I'm like, what if I just played with her? And she's like, excuse me, she's like, I swear, I really don't think it would make a difference, and you really need to release that. And I did. Because when she killed again on Monday, after we, you know, had 2 days of talking about it, and, you know, the neighbor and I kept saying to her, you know, you love birds, you want to care for birds, you know, because she kept saying, no more birds, no more killing birds. And I was like, no, we have to, like, you know, encourage her to protect them and to look at them as herself. That's the thing we have to help her to see, is that they're a living, breathing thing that has every right to be here, and that she doesn't have the right to take their life whenever she feels like it. So animals, the cool thing about that is spirit made me realize is that animals have karma too. And even those hummingbirds. The first hummingbird, when I was having the funeral for them, I felt an older energy. I really did. I think that's why I felt shattered. They were like the biggest one and the most beautiful, the most magical, and they still looked alive. And not only that, I know this is going to be hard to hear, but when I was trying to revive them, I could still feel their heart beating, because, you know, their hearts beat like hundreds of RPMs per minute or something. So I was still feeling it, but that was what was breaking my heart into a million pieces, because I felt their very, very fast beating heart go down to nothing. I'm gonna try not to cry through that one. And their eyes, they weren't completely, you know, gone, you know, like their neck was broke. So they were like dead, but like I could still feel their energy and their essence, that they lived in that body for a while, you know. So that's why it hurt. That's why I had such a beautiful funeral for them. And then the second one, interestingly enough, I felt like they were a young scrapper that needed to learn a lesson, unfortunately. I feel like the elder was like, that was the best way for them to go, you know? That's the way they chose to go, is by cat and through a lesson, because they were sentient. That's why my heart broke. And then the little scrapper, I could feel that, I mean, I was sad, but it wasn't the same. I could feel how different their energy was. And that's when I brought up the coyote thing to her, because I was like, don't you get it? Like, we all have a right to live. You know, it's not our right to take away the free will of others. it's like, Bubba, I was like, when you let me know when it's time, and I will, have a traveling vet come to the house, and, I'll let you go gracefully. And she's like, I don't want to die like that. I don't want to die with toxins in my body. She said, I want to die naturally. And I was like, okay. So I kept telling Baba, you're going to die naturally in your sleep. I kept telling her that over and over and over. She didn't die like that. Alder and I had to sit with her for hours and watch her die. I had to watch her take her last breath. It was part of it. Because being a death doula is part of my work. And cats have taught me a lot, because I have had so many cats, and when I lived in LA, I had a cat that, hold on. Okay. I had to blow my nose. I just popped my ear. Owie. I had a cat who liked to collect lizards. Thank God they have that, like, where they can drop their tail, because I've seen so many of them. My one cat, the look on his face the one time when the tail was in his mouth and the animal dropped, he was so confused. He was like, but I'm holding it. I don't understand. And I luckily grabbed it, but it was a huge, I think it was a gecko or salamander, but it was a big one. It was a big one. And I literally have a scar on my thumb from it, because it like put its mouth on here and latched onto my thumb. And I was going, get off, because I was trying to bring him outside because it was under attack mode, But anyway, I saved that one, but I didn't save them all. But yeah, I mean, I used to foster a lot of animals, and I had a few fosters that killed, I had one foster that killed everything all the time. And then we had a baby, we had an obsidian, the Egyptian cats. We had, I think that's their name, or am I thinking of the stone? But you know what I'm talking about, the Egyptian cat? We had an Egyptian cat like that I rescued from a baby, but was weaned from its mother really early. We did all these things, hand fed it, and our other animals raised it, our dogs raised it. I mean, he had nothing but love and cuddles, and I was so excited. I'd never had an animal from a kitten, and he ended up being a murderer. And my ex-husband was like, you know what? It's just in his nature. It's just in his nature. And I was like, I don't understand. I'm like, I just don't understand. So I think there may be some that are hunters, but if that's the case, it's like, then she needs to stay inside and then be played with, because I noticed, because I was playing with her so much, I don't think she wanted to hunt because she was having so much fun playing, you know? So when he and I divorced, as much as I loved him, his name, we called him Frank Sinatra, because when we got him, he was black as night with the bluest eyes. And I don't remember who said it. They're like, he looks like he's got eyes like Frank Sinatra or something like that. And so we started calling him Frankie, and we called him Frank, but I ended up calling him Fufu or Foof, because you remember that old thing, little bunny foo-foo hopping through the forest, picking up the field mice and popping them on the head. So that was like him, like he was just like killing everything. So I started calling him Bunny Foo-foo. I was like, what are you doing, dude? I'm like, why are you like killing? And anyway, we're going to take another break, and then we're going to get into the April forecast and pull some cards. I know this is a long one. I didn't mean for this all to be talked about, but it's what needs to be said. Spirit stops me if I'm not meant to talk about things. So I just got the chills that we're on the right track. Oh, they said I don't. Okay. They said, oh, it's going to be short and sweet. Okay, cool. So drink some water. And you know what? I mean, yeah, I believe that some creatures are born, like, some are born bad, like the bad seed, right? But then I'm like, I don't know if I fully believe that, because I do think that it's like that whole nature versus nurture thing. Hold on, I'm gonna go turn the heat on. Okay, sorry. I had to take a few more minutes. Okay, so, you know, when my ex and I broke up, I was like, what are we going to split the animals? I mean, we had a dog and a cat. And long story short, I've never wanted to give an animal away. I've always been like sad, even with my fosters and they were going to good homes. I was like, oh no, I'm like, bye, hope I see you again, you know, because this is before I knew what I was. But this was different. I was actually glad. He was his cat. I always felt like it was his cat, but he encouraged it. Like he thought that, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's something to say about that, you know, like what lesson was in there for him, or like, was he meant to, I don't know. I know I'm going like kind of off topic. When I looked down, it was 131:01. Oh, so, or it could be 13:11. You're right. That's true. And it's the number 6. So let's regroup a little bit. I'm going to burn some more stuff. Clear that energy out before we start the April forecast. Normally I'd put timestamps, but I don't know if they'll have me do that or not. I'll try and remember. Oh, 131. I'll remember 131:01. Maybe that's why they wanted me to. Okay. I just gave myself a manicure yesterday, and it blows my mind how fast it comes off the nails. And even though I do all like the special stuff and everything. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just really struggling with that. But also, I mean, it's a control thing, right? Like, because I can't control nature. I can't control what something or someone's going to do, but I can take myself out of it, right? Like, if this was my cat, I would do things differently, but it's not my cat. If this was my home, I would do things differently, but it's not my home. And so it made me realize, like, moving forward, like what I need, what I don't need, you know, and maybe that was like a message for somebody as well. So here we go. April forecast. So they want me to go to this one first. The planets this month. During its immediate approach to fullness on the 1st, the waxing moon has aspected every outer planet, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and has thereby once again illuminated the life-changing potentials and cultural shifts their unusual patterning contains. Moon ruler Venus exactly squares Pluto the following day, whilst Mercury and Jupiter, both now direct in motion, simultaneously trine each other. Jupiter may provide solutions to long-standing frustrations, freeing up the networks of communication and education so that the masses are able to move intellectually or physically. That's cool. Asking the question and receiving the unexpected answer will reveal hidden truths and intriguing possibilities, both of which imply the need for radical change. Mars races into its own domain of Aries on the 9th, to be followed within the week by Mercury and the waning moon. In the days preceding the Aries new moon on the 17th, all conjunct and energize the powerful Saturn/Neptune conjunction, which occupies the 1st degrees of the sign. They said to drink water. Clear your throat chakra. I feel like somebody's listening to this right now on their headphones, but you're like shopping or something, and you just like, ooh, my ear that I just popped is like rattling. Is somebody having a left ear issue? That's interesting. I also felt the vibration of the truck go by. But I feel like somebody is like, I feel like you're listening to this while you're shopping and you're like talking to the person and going, oh, I'm sorry, can you blah, blah, blah. They're saying that's why you're struggling, because you're trying to do too many things at once. Okay. I don't know who that was for, but they made me stop to say it. So we love you. All right. This new moon. Okay, hold on. Where were we? Do you want me to start from the beginning? Oh, okay. I thought they said, do you want to? Okay. In the days preceding the Aries new moon on the 17th, all conjunct and energize the powerful Saturn/Neptune conjunction, which occupies the 1st degrees of the sign. This new moon is an exceptionally powerful trigger in the creation of new ideologies and more holistic infrastructures. Feelings of disillusionment with old gods and their inspirations must be expected. Supported structures that are no longer sustainable may be washed away. Uranus move into Gemini on the 25th brings a breath of fresh air and a new approach. Yeah, like I said, I felt like, I felt they said there was going to be a big shift on the 31st, and I did feel that yesterday. I was actually concerned about how today was going to be because my energy was all over the place with my moon in Scorpio and this Pisces moon. I really was like, and then it was interesting because I woke up today and I felt so much calmer. It's almost like I can feel that it's, even though we're so divinely connected, especially the empaths, to no matter what, like I asked one of my soul sisters yesterday who's got a lot of fire in her chart. I said, hey, are you really feeling this moon? She's like, no, I was feeling the Pisces energy, like in Pisces season. She's like, but I haven't really, she's like, I feel like it's getting lighter. And I was like, okay, cool. I always like to touch in with people, but I'm like, yeah, I go, it makes sense for me because my moon's in Scorpio. And she's like, yeah, I think her moon's in Capricorn, which is grounded, right? So of course it's not going to affect her as much. So you have to remember that when we have these different times and transits and things, it's like, they're going to affect us differently on our, what is happening in our astrological orbit. So take these into consideration, all of this that I'm reading. And I will put a picture of this in the community section so you can look at it, a little more intensely to help guide you through the month of April. Okay, so they want me to read this again because this is what's been happening. What was that? Did you guys just hear that? I feel like I just went on fast forward. What the fucking fuck? What am I, a robot? That was psycho. Okay, feelings of disillusionment with old gods and their inspirations must be expected. So I do feel like we're having a lot of downfall of things that are going to be happening. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, I barely watched the news, but like the one thing I saw, they want me to say, so it obviously means something, but apparently this woman who was working for the American government, Christy Nome, I think is her name, was fired. And now they're saying like her husband is a known cross-dresser or something. And they asked the sitting president what he thought about that. And he's like, is that confirmed? Is that true? And they're like, yeah, it's true. And he's like, oh, that's a shame or something like that. But like, we don't care, right? Like, I'm like, let your freak flag fly, brother. Like, be who you want to be, you're woman, girl, like whoever you are, like be who you want to be. So it's kind of interesting that that kind of energy is coming out too, right? Like that they're noticing that their little perfect worlds are shattering because they're not perfect. Nothing's perfect. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's okay, But these cover-ups and things they've been trying to hide and lie about, all that shit's going to get exposed this year. So they're like, just sit back and like send it good energy, send it love, and just know that like, and this is just my country, right? Like, I'm sure there's crazy shit happening all over. There's a lot of interesting things that are happening, especially, people are starting to call people to task. Like, oh, you said if you were going to, be the president that you were going to do this. And now you're doing the opposite. And look at all of our money. And oh my gosh, the eagle just flew by. Did you guys see that? I don't know if it was in they flew pretty low. I'll have to look back, 138. Comment below if you saw the eagle fly by, because it would have been somewhere in here. You may even want to go back a few seconds and see. I can't obviously right now, but that was so cool. So, that is the divine spirit. And those things, that's actually spirit. That's why the eagle flew by to tell us, like, that's literally the divine spirit, like saying, like a wink, wink, like, trust us. Things are going to unfold. And we have that part of us that's like, like when that happened with Anna and the Hummingbird, I was like angry at her and I was just like, don't talk to me. Don't look at me. No, you can't sit with me tonight. And she was very confused and very upset. And then she got mad at me. And then it started this whole thing. And I was just like, look at this energy we just created. I just had this magical week, magical day. I was sitting down, laughing, eating my dinner, and then I was like hysterical after that. So like I didn't eat for a while, so the irony is my food, I ate some of it warm. I could have probably taken bites of my food and still played with her. You know what I mean? Like there's just all these things that I started to look back on and like, but at the same time I was like, it's self-care. Like I need to take care of myself. I even said to her, I'm like, just give me 5 minutes to take care of myself right now. I was so exhausted from the day, but there are still going to be energies and entities on this planet that are like, oh, want it. No. Oh, because they're used to it. And if people just keep giving them what they want when they want it, then they're going to get what they want. You know what I mean? But they may not get it in the way they want to receive it. And that's another thing that's been coming through as well. So these gods and these people, you know, and even with the religious stuff, you know, people are seeing what's happening, you know, and I've never been like pro-Catholic or anything like that, but, and it's not just because he's from Chicago, but, you know, even Pope Leo was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, when is enough going to be enough? Like, when are these wars? Like, there's no reason for it. We need to stop these things now. So I do believe that we are in a new energy for sure. And that it's just going to take like bits and pieces, and the disillusionment is going to happen to each person naturally, you know, for all of us, you know what I mean? Like I said, I thought, oh, I'm having this perfect day. There's no such thing. I thought, oh, I'm going to come here and have a good time and relax. Instead, I ended up having, you know, bird funerals and working with this cat. And I didn't even realize how much I'm working. I'm like really working here. So, you know, in our work as light workers, like we're pretty much always working, you know? And then I actually will have days where, you know, I'll be like, I can feel it, where they want me to work for a few hours here, then I go and do something else, and then they have me work for a few hours here. And then when I'm ready to eat, or I want to like watch a show or catch a movie and just relax, I sit with spirit, or I use my pendulum and I say like, you know, hey, you know, do you need me? They're like, nope, we'll let you know. And it's true. I'll be watching a show. Sometimes the show will just like, you know, like, because I'm watching it online, right? It'll just start spinning. Like it's not downloading, like I'm not getting the show or the movie. And I was like, oh, you want me to post something? And then I go and post something. Sometimes I put things on a timer and have it posted when it's meant to be. You know what I mean? It's like, so I'm not saying everybody has my path. I'm just saying right now as light workers, you know, we're meant to like lean into our purpose, like if not now, when, like literally. And they're going to shake us up and wake us up. And these old worlds and these, you know, we're creating new ideologies and more holistic infrastructures is exactly what they said. But for some people who are still in this illusion of like, you know, God's going to save me, Jesus. I mean, you know what the interesting thing is? I've been getting people putting things on comments on my channels from children. I read something really horrible, sometimes hateful, and I'm like, wow, I'm like, what's going on with them? And I'll feel like a childlike energy, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything, you know? They could be any age. And then I go on their channel and they're fucking kids. They're like, you know, like maybe a 12-year-old. And they're like telling me like, I need to read my Bible and that Jesus is ashamed of me and shit like that. And I'm like, I try to like get stuff off there before you guys see it. But some of you guys, you probably see it. If you're my regulars, you may see it come on there sometimes and I don't get to them right away. But it's mind-boggling, you know? But I'm like, that's taught. They taught them to be that way. And what parent is allowing their kid to have access to my channel that is not for kids? It's not an 18 and over. It's just not for kids. So the parents it's like, it's their job to be, I feel like somebody wants to fire scratch. You know, it's like, it's their job to make sure that like what content those kids are watching, but also what they're putting out there. You know, you're gonna let your kids start, like what if somebody doesn't look at that stuff and it's an adult and they start like fighting with them? They're not equipped or have the tools to have those conversations. You know what I mean? It was very, very, man, it's interesting. So yeah, we're gonna be working with that as well in April. Because I feel like what's going on and what we're speaking is also things that we'll be talking about in my podcasts and in the readings for the month. So it says, supportive structures that are no longer sustainable may be washed away. Uranus move into Gemini on the 25th brings a breath of fresh air and a new approach. So by the 25th of April, when Gemini is, or no, excuse me, it will be in Taurus season by then. But Uranus is moving into Gemini. That air will come through, because right now we're dealing with air energy too, which is clearing. Right now, that's why I think I'm feeling such emotions, right? It's like, it kind of makes sense that the energy is the way it is, and the water outside is rocky, you know? I don't know if you guys can see it. If I do it like this. I think I have to lift it up. But, you know, it's like, it makes sense because the air is doing that, right? It's like the air energy is messing with the flow, just like me messing with our altar. Sorry, guys. How did that happen? There we go. But you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Normally I would pause this and fix it, but I can't. I just have to do it with you guys there. I want you to be able to fire scry. They may be having me put this back too so we can put some cards up. I also put the crystal ball there. I just felt like some scrying. And we're going to work with the dragons in a minute, so I'll just bring it out. So that's something to look forward to, the 25th of April. Interconnectivity and the cross-fertilization of ideas are an essential part of new paradigms. Individuals must acknowledge their need of others. No one is an island, and those going their own way, their own sweet way, may be missing out on something. Yeah, I got that too. I've been, you know, getting more forceful with my partner about that, where I was like, dude, we're meant to come together as like twin flames and like help people. Like that's part of our job. It's literally like part of our work here on this planet is to work together to help people. And I said, and I know that you may not want to hear that right now. I'm like, but that is real. And I'm not just making it up. Also, did you see the rosemary that came in? And the little, the flowers on the rosemary is so cute. I don't know if you guys can see that. The little purple flowers. They're so cute. The witchies wanted to come in and give us some divine feminine energy. So work with rosemary in April as well. And I'm hearing for some of you, you may even want to do some planting, you know. And this wanted to come in today too. Spirit wants us to really concentrate on working with our heart chakra in April and coming forward with heart-centered energy. There we go. To remind us of our heart center. Okay. I got the cards now. So the night sky, this is what's going to be happening in the night sky for the month of April. Venus begins to establish herself as the evening star during April and will be visible for a couple of hours after sunset. Jupiter is transitioning from an all-night object to an evening one. By mid-month, it will not be visible much after 1 a.m. The earth shine. Throughout the diary, we mark when to look out for earth shine, which can be seen a few days before and after a new moon. We see it at dawn or just before the new moon, and at dusk just after the new moon. So right before the new moon at dawn and at dusk after the new moon. That's powerful. When we see the thin crescent moon, we can also see the unlit part of the moon as a beautiful glow. This is because the light of the sun is shining onto the earth and reflecting back to the moon. If we were standing on the moon, the full earth would illuminate the lunar landscape, just as the full moon illuminates our landscape here on earth. Earthshine is also known as the Da Vinci glow because Leonardo da Vinci researched and solved the phenomenon in the 16th century. That's so cool. So planets visible in the evening, Venus and Jupiter. Planets near the moon, 18th and the 19th Venus, and the 22nd on Jupiter, around that new moon, which is on the 17th. So the 22nd to the 23rd, we have the Lyrid meteor shower peak. Meteors can be seen all throughout the night, and the waxing crescent moon will not cause glare. Meteors will radiate from the constellation Lyra in the east, but can appear anywhere in the sky. And again, I will put pictures. There's no retrogrades this month. This is also a good month to get stuff done. I'm hearing spring cleaning. I know our Southern Hemisphere family, fall cleaning. Either way, it's good. It's good to get that cleaning out. Also, look at how precious this picture is. Again, I'll put it in the description box. So cute. Also, they call it the egg. I forgot. That's right. They call it the egg moon, this full moon, because it's the month where a lot of animals procreate. And yeah, April showers bring May flowers. I just saw Monday the 6th, there's a cloud there. I don't know if that's just like for decoration, but I thought that was kind of interesting. Okay. Oh, and then look at the cherry blossoms, but all of them have pretty much blossomed. At least around here they have. All right, so like I said, we have the new moon on the 17th, the new moon in Aries. So it'll go from the Pisces moon to the Aries moon. And then the sun enters Taurus on the 19th. So we will just have the Aries moon and the Aries energy from just for less than 2 days. And then we will be in Taurus energy from April 19th until the end of April. And for our Taurus family, the sun enters Taurus. I'll read this little thing and I'll put it in the description box, or excuse me, in the community section. Whew. Sun enters Taurus 19th of April at 21:39, which is 9:39? Yeah, 9:39. And that's Eastern Standard Time, 9:39, okay? It says, blossoms, their petals, velvet soft and luxurious, hang abundantly from the trees. The promise of fruits for those who are patient is tantalizing under the Taurus sun. The beauty of full spring comes forth now, determined. Fixed Taurian energy helps each bud open up to the warmth of the sun, which grows stronger every day. Hunger and desire build steadily. Patiently, the flowers wait for the right moment to unfurl. The earth energy of the sun in Taurus is grounded and calm. Collectively, we commit to acquiring what we need and to indulge in the luxury of our senses. Beltane will be coming up at the end of April, beginning of May, which will be the halfway point between spring and fall. So that will be very, very exciting. We will be working with that. And for the Taurus, if you're a Taurus or if you have Taurus in your chart, we all have it in our chart, but you may want to look and see where it is in your chart if you don't know, if it's not in your prominent placements. So, and that would be your sun, your moon, your rising, and your astrological when you were born. Okay, so it says, year ahead for Taurus 2026. You may not disappear in a rapture, but you are nonetheless perfectly primed for a revelation in the year's earliest months that has the power to change the course of your life. A new spiritual inspiration, a new political vision, or even an unexpected change in circumstances forces you to re-examine the values that lie in the very depths of your being. It may be time to let go of something or someone you thought was essential to your well-being. Your heart seeks a more meaningful fulfillment. No longer will the superficial ripples of conventional culture distract you. You must find a way to manifest these emergent values so that the outer version of you that acts in the world is a more accurate representation of that which lies within. I feel like that's for all of us. Career changes could be part of the cosmic picture. Look for the chance to adopt a new role that is a more accurate reflection of your changed consciousness. Even though this may well bring significant alterations to your material status, any such change will be easily accommodated if you can simultaneously find a soul supportive practice that feeds its nourishment into the underlying structure of your being. August solar eclipse in Leo is likely to herald the year's most demanding and stressful months, but if you try to avoid that most instinctive failing of the Taurian, I want to read that again. August solar eclipse in Leo is likely to herald the year's most demanding and stressful months, but if you try to avoid that most instinctive failing of the Taurian, that of holding on too tightly, and are prepared to say farewell to some aspect of the past, you should find yourself on an enticing threshold. And I know this is a Taurian outlook, but I really feel like that was like a strong thing for all of us, Okay, you guys. So that's it for not a lot going on. We had a lot more going on in February and March. I'm sure there's more like astrologically, like daily. I saw that there was things going on, but they're not calling me to go into that. Right now, we're being called to receive messages from the dragons for the month of April. And I don't know if we're going to be pulling anything for pick a reading. Let me ask Spirit. I don't believe so, at least not with this deck. So these are collective messages. Okay. So dragons, what messages, words of advice, wisdom, channeling energies that you want to bring in? I have a dragon tattoo on my arm. I have a huge affinity for dragons, and if you do too, most likely you were a dragon in another life. And dragons, I believe, come from the angel realm as well. Ooh, these two were like, oh gosh, it was like they were stuck together. Delphin and Hearn. So let's put this here. And I feel like we might be pulling some messages from Matilda. So Hearn is number, here, you know what I'm going to do? So you can kind of see it a little bit better. It's such a pretty card. You know what? If Spirit calls me to, I'll put them in the description box. Oops. My amethyst is holding the card. Hold on. Let me go up a little bit. It won't let me. It doesn't. I guess it doesn't want to. Isn't she pretty, though? I love this card. So number 33. So maybe you've been seeing threes a lot. Maybe it hasn't, you know. It's also the number 6, which we were saying is an angel number for this year. And then we have number 30 and 33. Oh my gosh, you guys. And I don't know about you, but I've been watching a lot of different spiritual things that have been talking about threes lately. Isn't it funny how Delphin wanted to like get up this close and Hearn, I could have done the same thing with Hearn, but she didn't want to. She kind of wanted to be back that way. Also, they feel like they don't want to disrespect. They're like, don't put us in front of the unicorn. Disrespectful. Oh, I forgot I need to move my amethyst back. Okay. I feel like we want to go closer. And I don't remember if I can zoom in on this feature. Oh, yeah, I can. Oh, good. I didn't remember. Oh, that's good. That's good. So let's read from Hearn first. Drink some water. This is a long one. But we also got like the healing and the ancestors messages, and I mean, we did channeling. I knew I was going to do something big today. That's why I said, I'm like, oh, am I going to do a pick reading? And I think they're like, you're good. You know what I mean? They're like, you've done enough. You don't need to do any more. Ooh, Hearn, here we go. Let me get my glasses. Okay. The earth dragon Hearn is connected to nature and everything within the natural world. The rocks, the earth, the trees and plants, the animals and the birds. He advises us that we would do well to remember that we too are a part of the seasons, the earth's rotation, and of Mother Earth herself. He reminds us that everything is cyclical and draws our attention to how out of sync we are now with the earth's natural rhythm. Even our internal body clocks are out of kilter. We couldn't imagine life without our smartphones being connected to the internet, social media, and TV 24/7. But all of these things act as distractions which stop us from delving into ourselves, finding our own internal patterns, reconnecting with ourselves, and in turn with the natural rhythm of our planet. And Hearn says, you may celebrate May Day, Halloween, Christmas, and other festivals, yet you forget the real essence of what they truly signify. They are a celebration of the turning of the seasons, of the earth's bounty, and you are out of step with these things. It is time to reevaluate, to slow down your fast-paced life, for you are constantly spinning on your axis rather than interweaving with the earth's beautiful tapestry. Make time to look at the trees, watch the waves, listen to the bees. Your body and mind require time to replenish and reboot, to use a popular human word. He also emphasizes that nothing lasts forever. Things such as human love and life, he says, wax and wane like the moon. They are forever changing. They follow the natural cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth. And I feel like for some of you, you may be in like, you know, it's kind of like we can't be in all stages at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're born, you don't, I mean, some people are born and die, you know, sadly, but they're showing me that they're kind of like 4 different energy systems, right? Like we're born, then we live, then we die, and then we're born again. So I feel, I just got the chills. And and it's on page 140, which is the number 5. So it's like we're ever changing, we're ever in this like constant, like nothing is really meant to stay forever, but we've been sold this bad bill of goods that we want, you know, you want to stay at the same job in the same place and go to, you know, whatever, you want to come home and have your comforts. And it's like, but you can have all those things without like, you know, giving it to the man. By the way, when I looked down, it was 221. So work with angel number 221. And then I saw 223. So if that means anything as well, because 223 is also the number 7, and talk about, you know, cyclical, right? Like we go through cycles. We have 7 days in a week. It's like, when did we decide that there's a Monday, Tuesday, you know, and then somebody decided, you know, oh, in the Bible, and, you know, on the first day, God created man, and then, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, it's like you go through the whole thing. So they invented that. They invented it. Let's have, okay, we'll do the sun after, you know, Sunday, and moon after, we'll call it moon day, and so on, you know. So we co-created this system for us to be able to function and understand, you know, like I'll meet you on a fortnight, you know what I mean? I always thought, for me, fortnight, I was like, does that 4, like the number 4, is it 4 nights? And then I was married to a Brit, and he's like, no, it means 2 weeks. And I'm like, I don't understand. I'm like, why is fortnight mean? How does that translate? And maybe there's a reason, and I don't remember it, or I don't research it, but you know what I'm saying? I'm like, so, but somewhere, somehow, some way, we collectively created time, created dates, created years. But the only thing that we know of for sure is that the rain is going to come, but we can't stop the rain. You know, the sun is going to shine, and we can't stop the sun. So they've been trying to control us for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. You know, that's how the rich stay rich. You know, I remember one time somebody said that to me. They're like, that's how the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, well, they, you know, they create something, and then that's the way it is. So like they have collectively created this weird like dominance of like cycles that we never really had a part of. Oh, I was wondering what they wanted me to do. I was like, they want me to put something else there. I thought they wanted the jade. And also this says, remember, no human is a failure who has friends. So we do need each other. It's just like, where are you putting your energy? Who are you giving your energy to? Who are you spending your time with? Who are you sharing a home with? Who are you sharing an office space with? Who are you sharing energy field with, you know, in your car? Who are you sharing your energy field with, you know, laughing, making love, whatever it is? They want us to be very cognizant moving forward. April's going to give us a lot of awareness of a lot of things. Like, let's put it this way. What if you're somebody who, you know, you rely on, like, maybe your parents? Okay, 2 examples came into my mind. I saw an example of somebody who is like a stay-at-home, like whatever, and like their partner always works, and so they make all the money. So what would happen then if they lost their job? What would you do? Would you go and get a job? Would you force them to get a job? Are you staying with them because they're supporting you? But then what happens if they can't support you anymore? What would you have to do? You'd have to support yourself. And then I also saw like parents. Maybe some of you, and this is no judgment, this is what I saw. Maybe your parents pay for you. Maybe you come from a wealthy family and your parents pay for you, but you can't really live the life you want because they won't pay your rent if you live in this place. Like the whole point is you have to live close to them or else they won't help you. You know, I've been obsessed with House Hunters again lately, especially the international. It's always fun to see like the other countries, like, and how they live, and like, and so interesting to see the entitlement of Americans. Oh, it makes me think of when I was in Paris, and I just like, after being in Europe for 2 weeks, I just couldn't take the Americans. And I was like, I just started like going off on these Americans and because of their behavior. And I said, you're the reason why they fucking hate us. I'm like, because you're not in America. They don't have to speak your fucking language. I'm like, you have to speak theirs. Like, they don't have to do anything for you. You're so entitled, you know, like I just like lost my shit. And it made me realize, you know, because at that point I'd been in Mexico City for almost a month, and like, and I traveled so many different places, and just, you really see once you step out of your comfort zone, and this is any country, because again, I'm watching these shows and there are people that are like, oh, I've never left Ireland. I'm like, how have you never left Ireland ever? You've never left it. They're like, it's like crazy. Or like they never left like their hometown. It's like you never got in your car and like drove to another state. Like to me, like it's mind boggling to me, especially, as an American. I'm like, and my parents were always, wanting to like travel. My grandparents, like, they love to travel too. And they love to, see different things. All my family, really, we love to travel. But it's this entitlement that is what's stopping us from the changes right now. And the oligarchy feeds the entitlement and feeds the ego. And people don't even realize that they're feeding them poison, and they're just taking it happily. They're just happily taking it. They're like, oh, well, if I don't have to do this or that, that's okay. And it's like, we've come to this thing where it's like, that's okay, but it's not okay. And it's like, and when did we get to the point where we're like, it's okay. That's okay. Yeah, you can poison me. Yeah, put that poison in my lotion. Yeah, put it in there. I'll put it on my skin right now. Thanks. Like, I mean, if you look at it that way, it sounds asinine, but I want you guys to start thinking about it that way. Look at every fucking ingredient. Do the work. Do the research. It does make a difference. It absolutely positively makes a difference. And I also noticed that when I had switched Anna's food, I only brought so much because I didn't know like what she would eat. And so they have tons of samples there. And I said, hey, can I grab some samples? And she's like, grab that whole thing. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. Because each sample's like a little like handful. So I think I grabbed, I don't know, 6 or 8 samples. And then I got her like these like, treats, and everything I got her was healthy, even the catnip, everything. And she was so happy. And then I ran out of food. And I thought about that too. I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if, because at first I was giving her just a little bit just to see how she'd react. Because, some animals might have allergies or something, but I got the vibe from Spirit. It was good. But then it was like, when I had to put her back to like her crappy food, I swear that's when she started to like act out. Like she wouldn't eat. She was like on a food strike. She wouldn't eat anything. Not even the shrimp, which she loves. She wouldn't eat anything. And I was like, oh, you're on a food strike. Okay. And I could tell she was like, I want that food. And she went over. I said, well, show me what you want. And she went over to, I'm like, that bag's empty, buddy. I'm like, there's nothing. I'm like, I left it out because I wanted to show them, her, like, this is the food she likes if she wanted to buy it or whatever, the healthy food. And it was like, she was like trying to show me, like, I don't want to eat this fucking shit food. I want to eat the good food. And I'm going to, do horrible things until you give me the good food. That's basically the energy I got from her. And I was like, wow, like that's pretty crazy. But it's not, because animals, like, it's almost like she's like, don't disrespect me. Like, it's like she didn't know that. She's never had that before. But that's kind of the energy that we do want us to have. And I kind of love her for that, right? Because she's like, oh, it's food. There's no food in her food. And if there's no food in our food and there's no good stuff in our, it's like, I remember Bath and Body Works, and my friends would want to go to the mall or whatever. And I'm just like, oh, I'm like, I can't go in there. Or like, I couldn't go through like department stores. One time I was desperate for a job, and I was with a staffing service, and she's like, oh, you could be a perfume girl. And I'm like, oh no, I can't. I'm like super allergic to perfume. She's like, that's all I have. And I was so desperate. I was so fucking desperate. I took the job, but I was literally like, by the end of the day, I had the worst headache, and I was sick for like 2 days after that. I mean, I'll admit it was worth it just because I was so desolate. I needed the money. So I took it. But it's like, I felt like, that person, I might as well just gone and had sex. I probably would have enjoyed that more and made more money. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, it's just, there's so much craziness out there. And now it's like, I feel like my job is just to open everybody's eyes and say, don't use these products, or don't put this on you. Find out where it comes from. Look at the source. I promise you, when you start to change, if you eat that shit again, you won't even be able to. I was watching one of those shows where it's like they have celebrity. It's like a talk show, and they have celebrities go on. I think it's a European show, and they give them U.S. snacks versus like UK snacks, and they brought a Twinkie out. And it was Jennifer Garner. And Jennifer Garner is like, she tries very hard to eat healthy. She grows her own vegetables and all that. She has a farm. She, has her animals sourced. Like she does it as good as she can. And she said, oh, a Twinkie. She's like, oh my gosh. She's like, she took a bite and she goes, yep. She goes, I feel sick. Like, I feel sick eating this right now. But she did it. And I was like, I wouldn't have. I would have been like, I know what a Twinkie tastes like and I don't need to taste it. But I wouldn't even do the show. But that's me. But you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I mean, they have like found Twinkies that have been like sitting and the box disintegrated quicker than the plastic and the Twinkie inside of it. That's not natural. You know, there's a reason why food goes bad because it's, anyway, I'm going to get off the soapbox now. Okay, so Delphin. Delphin is the etheric counterpart of the whales and the dolphins. Oh, I love it. Oh, I wonder if that means I'll see a whale. I did see a porpoise, which is in the dolphin family. The whales are the earth's record keepers and the dolphins are our spiritual ancestors. They carry the blueprint of our spiritual existence here on earth. This wise old dragon of the deep carries the same knowledge and understanding within the depths of his being. Delphin has this to say about our journey and the oceans of our planet. The waters of earth can cleanse or maim, support or take life. Isn't that powerful? And I'm here on this. I mean, you guys, I started watching this on the new moon in Pisces. Think about that for a second. Or no, excuse me. I started watching this on the new moon. Yeah. Right? Because I'm going to be, no, it was Aquarius. And then it was Aquarius new moon. And then it went into Pisces energy and then the Pisces new moon. And now we're on the full moon, still in the Pisces energy, but it's the full moon in Libra. But I'm in front of this massive body of water. You know, like what are the fucking odds? You know, I mean, it was all meant to be. And the fact that like we got these two cars like connecting with Earth and we were talking about that. And then the water with the moon is all about, I mean, all of the water on the planet is literally like it ebbs and flows because of the moon. And the moon is our heart. It's our heart chakra. It's our emotions. It's our heart center. So this is the time, you know, to feel it over the next few weeks before we go into the Taurus energy. Oh, and I looked down, it was 2-12-12. So we can work with angel number 212 and 2121 and 1212 because I feel like there's something in that that's really powerful. But I just think that's kind of interesting right now. So the waters of earth can either cleanse, maim, support, or take life. You too are faced with a similar choice. You can choose to heal and be healed or swim in the riptides. Neither is wrong. It is only a matter of perspective and choice. You have been faced with arduous situations at times and made some bad choices too. Remember, you're human, and as humans must, your race makes mistakes and on occasion poor decisions. But that is all part of learning. It is time to forgive yourself and others and move on. Delphin asks us to look deeper into our souls and asks, what is your purpose on earth? Holy shit, you guys. What is it we must discover about ourselves? Are we healers, a spiritual guiding light for others to follow? Are we seekers of the truth through science? Are we called to work with him possibly as ecologists or even marine biologists? When they say called to work with him, the water energy of Delphin. He is very useful to call upon when we feel stuck and unable to go with the flow. Remember when the ancestors were pushing the whole thing about the flow? And you guys, you could probably hear me. I kept trying to change the words or change like whatever. And like, or I was like, I didn't want to cry or I didn't want to sing or I didn't want to yell out. And they were like, stop it. That's part of your fucking work. That's part of your magic. Some people like it and dig it and some people won't. And that's okay. And I'll have timestamps for that. So maybe some people just like my readings, but they don't like to have the spiritual cleansing or the messages or the channeling from the ancestors. I don't know what's going to come through. I never know what's going to come through. I don't even know now. Sometimes I listen to it back and I'll be like, what in the fuck was I singing or saying or do you know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm there, but I'm not there because I'm also traveling through like other energies and entities and realms. Like while that's happening, it's like they're using my body. And then there's different like ancestors. That's why you hear, like I felt Native American ancestors go through my body. I felt, at one point when I heard like where it kind of sounded like a musical and I felt like I was like fucking like Les Miserables or something. Oh, I have to tell you about that. Like I literally saw these women who were like really poor and tattered clothes with like rags over their heads, tied over their heads. Also, I heard about protecting our crown chakra. So like maybe wearing hats or like, you know, just something over your crown chakra or paying attention to your heart or your crown chakra. Oh, and I just Freudian slip, heart chakra. Maybe some of you have closed off your heart chakra. You're afraid to be seen. You're afraid, you have this fear of being exposed of who and what you really are. Maybe because the people around you, family, friends, coworkers, whatever, significant others don't understand or don't want to understand like who and what you are. It doesn't matter. This is your path. They have their path too. What's my destiny, mama? We all have our own path and our own purpose. But they were talking about that in there, the flow. And so yesterday I was having a thing with Anna where I let her outside, and then she was pacing back and forth and acting, crazy because I wouldn't let her out. I'm like, we went out a lot today because the hummingbirds kept coming around looking for the feeders, and she was, just obsessed. And I said, you're too obsessed right now. I don't like this obsession you have. I said, it's not healthy. It's not good. I said, we need to calm down. And these words started coming through, and I swear to God, I heard record. And so I just did it on my voice notes. So I don't know how there's no way to like create it into something. At least maybe I have to I don't know. But anyway, long story short, I just hit record because I wanted to remember the lyrics because they were really good. But then she started meowing, and I was like, no. And I started to talk to her. And then you guys, I caught it on video, but you can hear us literally having a conversation. And I'm singing to her like a musical. It was crazy. And I was like, but it's not crazy. I think music is a bigger structure in our communication basis than we give it credit for. And I think it's kind of like one of those things like the number 13 that they made it, evil and against, and women are bad and all this shit. I feel like it's like singing, like some people do talk to each other like this. Oh, my friend, are you having a good day? And other people would be like, oh my God, you're so fucking weird. Like, why are you doing that? Where other people would just chime in with them and be like, that's awesome. Let's do this, Also, my eyes keep coming to this. And I feel like for some of you, this is to get a fire under your ass to really make the changes. The excuses are piling up, Spirit said. And there's going to come a point where it's like, they're trying not to have you be home free. And for some of you, it's like you've passed up windows and doorways of ways into the next chapter, and you're still staying where you are. And they're like, the excuses are not getting you anywhere. There are so many places you can get jobs in the, spiritual world. I've said this for years. I'm like, there's crystal shops. Even if it's just like a coffee shop or like a store, a clothing store that that they're spiritual. I literally became what I am today working as a wardrobe stylist in an organic high-end clothing store where like you'd be lucky to find any piece of clothing under $75. Like a organic cotton tank top was $75, that it's like I had no idea that in that atmosphere that I would end up meeting these amazing spiritual people and meeting my first mentor and shaman and teacher. It's, you just never know who you're going to meet where. But if you're, I'm not saying you can't meet spiritual people at corporate jobs or things like that, but if you're punching a clock or if you are on salary or, it's gotten really gross. I got off salary jobs because I knew when they started with cell phones and stuff, I was like, don't call me at my home. I'm not at work right now. Yeah, I'm on salary, but it's that doesn't mean you can call me. It's they've really pushed the boundaries. It's gotten grotesque, honestly. Nobody should be working at home or people are like, oh, well, I'm here doing this, so you need to go do that. And it's but it's my day off. And you told me I can have this day off. I told you it's been on the calendar. And they're like, yeah, some tough shit. I pay the bills. It's my money. It's no, that's not respect. You honor and respect people. That's when the boss would go, oh, you know what? You're right. I have to take care of it. I guess I'm going to have to fly back. It's or you get somebody else. And if nobody else can do it, it's you're the boss, applesauce, as Judge Judy would say. And if you're not going to, you know what I mean? It's then you shouldn't own a business. If you don't want to do the fucking work, if you want to blame everybody else and complain about it, whatever, it's then maybe that's not the right thing for you. I had someone recently who was I don't want to be the boss. I'm but you are the boss though. I'm what do you mean you don't want to be the boss? They're yeah, but I just want to this and that. And I'm but it's your company. What do you mean? It was really confusing. They're but that's why I hire people. I'm that makes no fucking sense. I'm so open a business, you start a business, and you hire support systems, but you don't want to be a part of it, I don't understand that, then that's just somebody who just wants a cash cow. Then like maybe don't have a business where you have human beings that will get sick or do have a life. And, it's kind of interesting, like the way that things, have come through and progressed in that way. So that's very interesting. Okay, so Delphin's presence acts as a reminder that we would do well to stop struggling and surrender to the ebb and flow of life, for that which we resist persists. Your task is to uncover your driving passion and kickstart the job that you came here to do. The end. That's what Spirit said. They're like, the end. This was at the bottom, and I don't know if they want me to read from it, so I'm going to ask Spirit, do we want to read from Sin Gold? So I may be pulling some, let me see if they want me to pull any more cards today. Okay, Spirit, do we have any more messages for the collective? I kind of feel like it's ending there, but do we have any more messages for this particular reading for the collective today? Okay. Do we want to pull any messages or pull any dragons out? Oops, they just flew across the room and the book just flew on the floor. So let's see what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, 221. We're pushing it. Oh, another 221. We had that earlier on the 221 and the 212. So that means something. That's also number 5. And some of you, I'm hearing from Spirit, your resistance to change is just going to make you more miserable. They're just going to make you more miserable than you are now. Do we want to pull any cards for a pick a reading from this deck today? Okay. Do we want to pull any cards from this deck for a pick a reading today? Do you want to pull any cards from this deck today at all? Okay. Do you want to pull any cards from this? Okay, here we go. That's why the unicorn wanted to come. The Enchanted Unicorn Oracle. This deck has been coming out a lot lately. I did a reading for a tribe member a few weeks ago, and we used this deck as well. Because it's so powerful. Well, let's see first, do we have any messages from the unicorns? Because we are going to hear from... I feel like we're going to pull some messages from Matilda. So do we have any messages from the unicorns for the collective today? Okay. Do we want to pull some cards for the pick a reading, for a pick a reading from this deck today? Okay. So, this came out the other day. Okay, so we're done with the dragons right now. Thank you, Hearn. Thank you, Delphin. We love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll keep those out so that we can put those in the community section for you. Okay, so this is going to be for reading 1, number 36, Pipe Dream. And this could be like, for some of you, like, what's my destiny, Mama? I feel like that's what the pick a reading is going to be. Something to that, like, because maybe some of you really don't know what your purpose is. Oh my gosh. And I have been hearing this song over and over. And I made this shorts on my other channel, Lula's Labyrinth. With Katy Perry's song Fireworks over the 4th of July. Hold on. Was it last year? Yeah, because I was only there for, yeah. So last year over the 4th of July, I took some fireworks footage from out my window. And the other day, that song kept playing for me. And I said, do you want me to post that? And now I realize, because I was playing with these cards the other day, and this card came out for me. So... And so just so you know, number 36, Pipe Dream, it says, hold on, let me see if we can get, did I do that last time or I came up closer? Dreams become reality. Don't be afraid to dream big. Don't be afraid at all. But they're saying like, dream big. They want you to dream big. They want you to dream big. Dream big. It's like there's something that told you that you shouldn't do it. And they're like, no, but that's how you're going to find your success. Also, my throat chakra, some of you, you're afraid of your power, and I'm just feeling so much fear. So if you're feeling a lot of fear, maybe reading 1 will be good for you. Fireworks is put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. Yeah, what was I saying? I felt like some of you guys were hiding. You're hiding your gifts. You're hiding, like, And then number 3 is Toadstool. Cute. Number 33. Interesting. 36, which is also number 3. 3. And then 33. What the fuck? You guys. Oh my gosh. So powerful. Okay. This says, secrets revealed. I don't know what that means. So secrets revealed. Let's see if we have a reading for. Is there going to be a reading for? No. So our pick a reading is, do we have any more messages? Okay, how about this? Do we have any more messages for the collective from this deck today? Okay. Do we want to read anything from these today? No. So look out for this pick a reading, okay, you guys? And we'll go deeper into these energies, and I'll keep them on top so that we remember. That's good. And then we can probably put this over here now and kind of fill up this space a little bit. Okay. And then let's see if Matilda's got some. See if Matilda's got some messages for us. And I'm going to just throw them down here. I just realized I put that there. That's so funny. I got, this is, it's a hemp mouse. I got this for Anna. She loves it, and I fill it with organic catnip. You guys are going to laugh your fucking asses off. I've been using it as a pendulum. It totally works. It's been really good. But I've been working with spirit because I don't know what you guys have seen or haven't seen, but I lost my grandmother's pendulum when I first, was coming here last week and all this stuff. And so I went like a long time without the pendulum. It was really crazy. And then I got the vibe that they were like, they just wanted me to take a little break and, get grounded. Okay, so let's see. So we've got only two flew out. So and I'll take a little screenshot. Maybe I'll put them on here. And then this one flew out over there. Let me see what this says. White. I literally heard white light, like when I saw white. So white. And then my eyes went to like right on top. There's a thing right here. And my eyes went to this. And it's like one of those like yogi tea things. It's upside down. And I'll put a screenshot of this in the community section too. I don't know if it'll let me. Here, I'll just read it to you. There we go. It says, smiling is the most basic kind of peace work. Yes, right? Like when somebody's like really struggling or having a rough time, it's so nice to like just, well, I try to smile at people all the time, but like we white, like I feel like they're saying we white lighters, like, right? Like that's our job is to, bring the sunshine and the happiness and the joy. And like, that's our job. It's literally our job to like, be, don't worry, be happy. I started freaking out about something yesterday, and literally that song came into my head, and I realized, yep, because we are heart-centered beings. It's literally our job to be these beautiful heart-centered beings. Also, can I show you this? I don't know if this is real, but she's got so many shells. She's traveled all over the world. So I'm like, I don't know if you guys can see. I'll take a picture of it. And put it in but it's just so magical. It's got like these silvery bands. Like, I don't know. It's just really cool. Okay, Matilda, do you have any more messages for us right now? See if anything comes out. I don't feel anything else. That might just be it. Sometimes it's just like a short and sweet little message. I'll just check around real quick. Nope. One more go. Oh, you know what? That would make sense with all the threes. Oh, something flew. I knew there was one. I just felt it. This one is extra. Oh, I just started smiling. Smiling's my favorite. Like we need some extra white light and some extra smiling energy for the month of April. Pull it out. You can do it. They're saying you can do it. Also, my eyes are going to, this is an old vintage fabric. And if you guys can see, this is like, for those of you who are make stuff, this is like that white light and, white light. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Where they put like words and stuff. And over here, it says 1997. And it says, is that black? Blank textiles. And it says 1997. So 1997 could be a year you were born. I mean, it's 2026. So you could have been born in 1927. So that could be a message for you. Or it could be like 1997 was a pivotal year for you. Okay, now we just got the words cook. Maybe you need to cook more food instead of, I know, to be honest with you guys, the processed food, whenever I have processed food, a lot of times, like when I go shopping every week, I try to buy like maybe like one thing of noodles or like one like a pizza or something. And I don't always eat it that week, but I like to have it because there are times where I'm just like, I don't have it in me to make food from scratch that day. I just don't have it in me. But I know that what I really need to do is just do my food prep the way I used to. When I almost died of pancreatitis, I had to. It wasn't a choice. Like I had to, in order to save myself, I had to eat a certain way. So every week I would go shopping and I'd get up early, go shopping really early and come back. And that day I would prep all of my food. I would do the shopping and my food prepping all in one day. And it is a lot of work, but you know what? Then the rest of the week I could coast. And especially now I have like all glass containers. I don't have to worry about the seepage of plastic and stuff. But, you can't freeze glass, but you can, if your refrigerator's not too cold, you can put glass in the refrigerator. Obviously we have, beer and stuff like that, but glass can crack in the freezer. So my freezer stuff, I use different things, but they have there's so many different forms of things that you can use. Wax paper, like the real beeswax, where you can put them. I think Trader Joe's had beeswax bags and things like that, that are natural and no chemicals. But even my candy, I would make all of my stuff, and obviously I got better at it, but I would have everything for the week. So right now when I'm tired, I have hummus, but it's processed hummus. I bought the hummus. I have sauerkraut, but it's and they're all good. They're all organic, whatever, but they're still went through a processing thing. I didn't make it from the beginning. I didn't, but I'll have hummus and my sauerkraut when I'm done with this to replenish until I'm ready to make a meal later. But it's okay to have some things, but maybe this is a challenge for some of you guys to just really step it up. How much time do you waste on your phone? How much time do you waste on your computer? How much time, and even so, when I food prep, I listen to podcasts like mine, you know what I mean? Spiritual podcasts. I sometimes will be called to readings. Sometimes I watch a show. Most of the time I put music on. Sometimes I do it in silence, but it's a good way to connect with yourself and your food. And then I have it all lined up for the week, And there's so many ways to store your things so that they last longer and stay better. Okay, so I got an N, but it could be a Z too. It's all in the way you look at it, but let's just put, so an N there. And then, what do we have on this one? Wellness. I mean, come on, you guys, cook wellness. Come on. All right, any more, Matilda? Do we have any more? Anna gave us this. We love you, Anna. We love you so much, Anna. You've given so much to this tribe. Okay, let's see. Oh, look at the heartfelt. Oh, Anna, don't lose your heart space. We got you, girl. Let me tell you guys, if I was a millionaire, I would love to just take care of all of you guys, whatever. But it's even if I was, I bet Spirit would tell me not to, right? Because it's we have to learn how to, figure out, our purpose, because our purpose will bring us what we need. Does that say Venus? Oh my gosh, it says value. But I swear I saw Venus, so I feel like that means something because we spoke about Venus a lot. So value, and there's a lot of value in our wellness is what I'm getting from Spirit. There's a lot of value in our wellness. Our bodies, it's like when I was talking about earlier, a baby can't feed itself, right? It relies, it's our bodies, our avatars, even if our avatar is no, don't fucking, eat that. I want the cucumber. I don't want the chips. But we're still going to do what we can. We can override a fucking programming. We can override our brain and say, yeah, but I'm going to have that anyway, Body, come on. Body, wellness. And I've been hitting this stuff for you guys hard home for a long time. And honestly, I never thought I'd go back to processed foods. I really didn't. And I did it slowly. And it happened naturally because I was traveling or whatever and I didn't have a choice. But then I got better about that too. Carrying my food with me. If I fly on a plane or I'm going on a road trip, I'll prep all my food. I will shop and get all my food. Sometimes I have to buy stuff on the road, but I do my best. I use discernment, It takes more time, but we've just gotten really lazy. Okay, so this is number 10, and we've been talking about 10s a lot. And on the back, it says 58, which is also the number 13. So we've got 58 and 10. And 58 could be 85. And why is my arm? Oh, I'm going there. Oh, here we go. And then we got, awakens. And then there's some letters on the back. I'm sorry, you guys can't really see this. But okay, so the letters on the back are, so this could be initials for you. It could be for somebody else. R, a G, and E, if this aligns. And then awaken. So maybe this says awakens. So maybe some of you, you're going to awaken even deeper if you have R in your name, G, or an E. Awakens. And this could be the initials of somebody that you're with, or could be a family member, a friend. All right, any more? Do we have any more messages? All right, that's it. That's it. Thank you, Matilda. We appreciate you. All right, you guys, I think that's it. Do we want to do any astro dice? Do we want to roll any astro dice for anybody? Do we want to do any indicators for any special medicine, or do we have any more? Anything else before we close out this session today, Spirit? Any more channeling or? Okay, this was a big one, you guys. Thank you so much. If you watch this all the way through, whoo! I give you you don't see it, but I'm giving you a standing ovation because honestly, you know, it was a tough one. I know for myself, I was going to do all these things today, and now I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do anything but fucking relax. And I feel like that's what they want us to do. So take care of yourselves and each other. So I just want to say before we close up, thank you to all of you who are here today. Thank you to my higher self, your higher self, our spirit guides, the ancestors, as above, so below, and all the way around, and all of those who are here with us, the channeling energies, the dragons, the unicorns, the owls, the eagle, raven, spider, seagulls, seals. I'm like, I saw a king salmon this week, the porpoise. I mean, just all of these animals. Just thank you, Spirit. Thank you to every energy and entity. And of course, Anna and the beautiful soul whose home this is. Thank you, because we have been here all together. And this is Ted. This is my buddy Ted. So thanks to Ted the unicorn and the dragons, and the angels, and all of these beautiful creatures that are here with us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been it's really been a pleasure. It's been difficult. It has not been the easiest time, but it's also, there's just been so much learning, and I took so much in, and I will miss this because this is hers, and I will totally miss having this because it's such a magical piece. But I'm glad that we got to use it in our reading today. So yeah, just a big gratitude and thank you to March, for the month of March. It gave us so much. And can you guys believe we're already a quarter of the way into the year? A quarter of a way in. We are 3 months under our belt. It's like, wasn't it just Christmas? You know what I mean? It's like, whew, it's going by quick. But we welcome April. Thank you to the blessed, thank you to Lilith and the moon energy. Oh, wait till you guys see. I took so many pictures and video over the last several days, and I don't know if she's going to show herself tonight, but it's supposed to be this horribly gloomy for the next several, maybe till tomorrow morning, I think. So it kind of sucks, but I had a feeling Lilith was really, really showing off the last few nights, and I took so much footage, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to see her at the actual night of the film, but she might show herself later. We'll see what happens. But usually when it's like this, it's like kind of sunk in here for a minute, but she may show herself tomorrow, and it's supposed to be nicer. But I promise I will show you guys more footage, and I've been recording a lot of stuff and doing a lot of work since I've been here. So I'll be sharing that with you, but I will be moving back to the RV in a few days, and then I will put that pick a reading together from the unicorns. I don't know when it's going to go out or when I'm going to do it, because I'm going back this weekend. And then my landlord actually reached out to me and was like, he forgot that I was here that long, because he's like, you normally do everything. Like, he was so cute about it. He was like, I didn't want to say anything. He's like, normally you're so good. I go, remember I told you I wasn't going to be back? And he's like, oh yeah. So I'm going to have to get some yard work done this weekend. So I will try and slip this pick a reading in. And it may have to be in the live. So it's checking the live format again, too. Always check the live section, especially now moving forward. I'm either going to have to get a new SD card or they're going to have me delete some stuff because they had me take so much footage while I was here so that I can use it for other things. I mean, I must have taken, I don't know, 10 fire videos, you know, for fire scrying. I got some really, really cool fucking fire scrying videos for you guys, like really cool. Like a few of them were like, holy shit. It was like, I mean, there's just so much. I can't even. So yeah, so thank you to the owner of this house for real and all the people on this property and the neighbor below and the hummingbirds and yeah, the ducks. There's just been so much and I'm so blessed. And in turn, you are blessed too because you are here with me. So you got to be a part of it and experience it as well. So we give our thanks and gratitude, grace and gratitude. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other. We love you so much. Blessed be. Oh,